I click go live. It's just spinning. Good Monday evening. This is Caleb here with Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online, alongside Ryan. We are here for severe weather coverage here in the state of Indiana. Our QLCS, our line of thunderstorms, is now moving into Indiana. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings here across the state. Go ahead and start from north to south. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Newton County as well as looks like maybe northern. They didn't even list the counties on that warning.
You got Newton and Benton in that top one there, Caleb.
Newton and Benton there, that is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Lafayette, 60 and penny-size hail, as well as a tornado possible with this warning. A lot of our severe thunderstorm warnings do have tornado possible tags within them. There are lots of embedded circulations within this line here. Tornadoes can spin up quickly from severe thunderstorms. Expect damage to roof siding and trees. We also have, whoa, radar really shifted there. We also have a tornado warning just to the west of southwest of Terre Haute in Illinois, not for Indiana yet, but we are watching that here pretty closely. And we switch radars here. This one might have a better look at it, and not really. Just kind of in between radars in this portion here. Really bad radar gap in this part of the state. Williamsport, Indiana, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. These storms are also moving very quickly. These storms are moving east at between 50 and 60 miles per hour. Rockville, Indiana, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. The main hazards with this line is going to be damaging winds, 60 miles per hour, perhaps isolated instances up to 70 miles per hour, 70. The hail threat, not really a big hail threat with these storms. The hail is expected to remain under severe criteria. A lot of these warnings, you'll see hail up to penny size. That is 0.75, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. That's below severe criteria in terms of hail. Primary risks here, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, perhaps up to 70 miles per hour in some instances, as well as the risk for a spin-up tornado or two. Moving on down the line here, we're moving to Gibson County as well as southern Indiana. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. This one here does have some embedded rotation in it that we need to keep an eye on here pretty closely. This does include White County in Illinois, Indiana counties, Gibson and Vanderburgh, as well as Posey County, also in a severe thunderstorm warning. These is you can see some pretty intense pockets here of some winds up to 60 miles per hour, but also within some of these surges, you can get some embedded rotation within this line as well. We call that mesovortices. Basically, it's really shallow embedded rotation within the leading edge of the line. Sometimes in these little surges here, you can get embedded circulations along the leading edge of that. This is going to be something to watch. This is why we have a tornado possible tag here. The National Weather Service issuing that. No tornado warning, but there is a possibility of a spin-up tornado along here. Here's a good example of that there. We can see some faster winds next to some slower winds. You have some wind shear there and some embedded circulations. This is going to be moving into Gibson County as well as northern Posey County in southwest Indiana. Moving up to the north here towards Terre Haute. Go ahead and switch radars here once again, trying to give you the best look that I can on this section of the storm. We are in between radars here, so sometimes the look is not as clean as what you would see as we are closer to the radar. We do have a tornado warning off to the west towards Marshall, Illinois, along I-70. Some embedded circulation there. Terre Haute, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. as well as a possible tornado. Now, this line is still well off to our west here in Illinois, still several miles out. So we're going to have to watch this portion of the line right in here. This is going to be what is moving towards Terre Haute and the Brazil, Indiana area, right along I-70. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Now, what does have rotation now may or may not have rotation when it enters Indiana. During these events, a lot of our areas of rotation are typically short-lived, but they also spin up very quickly as well. That's going to be something we're going to have to watch. These lines of storms, termed a QLCS, which is a big fancy term for quasi-linear convective system. Basically, it's a squall line along a cold front is what that means. These storms are notorious for damaging winds, as well as those surface-based spin-ups, shallow areas of embedded rotation along the line. So that is something we're going to have to watch a while as well. Something else, though, to watch is all of this rain, which is developing way out ahead of this line. We're going to have to watch this very closely to see how this interferes with our line as it moves into Indiana. A lot of times in these early season events, especially if we get stratiform rain or some convection out ahead of the line, it can actually act as a stabilizer. It can help stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. Something that we have working for us tonight is wind shear. We have a lot of wind shear aloft. We call that kinematics. Really good forces aloft, which will help sustain this line despite a little bit of instability. So we're going to have to watch how this trends here. We don't have a lot of instability, but we have some good thermodynamics, temperature profiles within the low and mid levels of the atmosphere, kind of to overcome that little bit of instability that we do have. Going back on our warnings here, we do have, I guess before I go on to that, I do want to mention we do have a tornado watch in effect for central Indiana until 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Does not include the Muncie areas, but areas off to the south and west, you're in that tornado watch. Also across all of northern Indiana, and a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A little bit lower confidence as we go into eastern Indiana. We're just going to have to see how that trends across the state. Go ahead, Ryan.
New severe warning coming in for Clay, Davies, Greene, Knox, Sullivan, and Vigo counties until 10 p.m. They're going 60-mile-per-hour winds and tornado possible tag with that new warning. Also wanted to sneak in here and mention this line across Illinois has a history of producing gusts between, we're going to say 50 and 65 miles per hour. So this line does have a history of producing some pretty strong wind gusts. But I think the good news, I think Caleb would agree with me, the further this line moves to the east, the weaker it should become with time. So it's at its strongest point right now as we speak here. Current time is 9:23 p.m. Eastern, 8:23 p.m. Central. And as we move later on in the evening, this line should gradually weaken as it progresses to the east here. So we'll watch it carefully. We're here live tracking. My eyes are peeled for rotational couplets. Caleb will be covering what he sees relevant as well. And I'll chime in if I see anything on my end of things that looks concerning.
Absolutely. So right now, one of the stronger area, not really a strong area of rotation, but Ryan, down here coming into Gibson County, we do have some embedded circulations here within this portion of the line. Let me see if I can switch radars here and go back to Evansville. Here we go.
Yeah, I do see that, Caleb.
A couple small little areas to watch, one near the Belmont area and perhaps in the Gibson County line. They're just moved. Either way, pockets, some gusty winds there associated with that. There could be some embedded circulations anywhere along this line. We do have tornado possible tags within our severe thunderstorm warnings issued by the National Weather Service. Currently, no tornado warnings here in the state of Indiana. Nothing as strong enough to meet tornado warning criteria at this point in time. However, just like what we saw Wednesday morning across northern Indiana, we had a couple tornadoes touch down in Jay County and even Wells County, Indiana. Wells County going without a tornado warning on it. So sometimes in these lines of storms, you can have rotation that the radar struggles to pick up on because it's shallow. It occurs below the radar, especially in this area right in here across west central Indiana. We're in between radars. So the radar beam is angled up from the radar station, but by the time you get in this area, we're several thousand feet above the ground. From the tilt of the radar, but also the curvature of the earth, sometimes it's hard to pick up on the shallow area of rotation along the leading edge of these lines. They can occur below the radar. So tornado possible tags are quite possible to continue here within a lot of our severe thunderstorm warnings, just to cover that, as some of these circulations may be difficult to detect by our radar, not only because they spin up very fast, but also because they're shallow rooted. They're below the radar in some areas. So the rotation may be stronger or weaker than what radar presents it to be. So do keep that in mind as well. Southern Indiana to northern Indiana, severe thunderstorm warning continues for this would be for Gibson County, Vanderburgh County, Posey County till 9 p.m. Central Time. Moving east at 55 miles per hour. Storm motions tonight are going to be between 50 and 60 miles per hour, moving east-northeast along our cold front. Tornado possible, penny-sized hail. Hail is not a big risk here today in Indiana. Primary risk throughout the duration of this event, damaging winds, strong 2 damaging winds of 50 to 70 miles per hour. I think winds greater than 70 miles per hour, I think, are going to be far and few between based on the history of this line and also its trajectory. Right now, as Ryan mentioned a few minutes ago, the line is at its strongest point right now. We do expect gradual weakening with eastward extent. Now, when that weakening trend will start is yet to be determined, but we do expect gradual weakening with eastward extent, which is why areas such as Muncie and parts of eastern Indiana are not included in that tornado watch, as we're just kind of waiting to see how this line evolves as it moves across Indiana. We are in the overnight hours now. Our instability is going down a little bit. The instability that we have now is what we're going to have remaining for the rest of the evening, with a little bit of those numbers going down just a little bit. But we're also watching a secondary line kind of developing way ahead of the main line here. We're going to have to see what this does and how it evolves our main line behind here. This line getting a little bit more organized near the Boonville area. Not severe at this point in time, but this could use up some of the instability before this line gets to it. So it could interfere with this line. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. So multiple rounds here of rain and thunderstorms moving into Indiana. A little bit of some notching going on. This is in, let me exit out here. Here we go. Northern Gibson County, as well as southern Knox County, going to have to watch here as well. This is in Illinois currently, but here's a good example of those little notches that we're talking about here along the line. Some embedded circulations here within this line that'll be moving into northern Gibson County, southern Knox County. Those are the types of features that we're going to be looking out for this evening. Very different than what we saw during our last large severe weather event, where we had really one main supercell tracking along a warm front. These are much smaller circulations and oftentimes harder to detect as well because of their small size and how shallow they are. They're very low in the atmosphere, sometimes below the radar as well. So it's those types of features that will develop and dissipate very quickly as this line moves eastward. Back to northern Indiana here, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for the Lafayette area. I think Indianapolis sees it best here. Line of strong thunderstorms moving into town right now. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Again, hail is not the main hazard here. Lafayette, you're going to see winds picking up here very, very quickly. The good news is, though, I don't see a lot of really much rotation within this line. You can see its nice bowed-out appearance there. Strong winds on the backside, mixing down to the ground up to 60 miles per hour. There could be some small hail embedded here, but this is going to be a very short-lived storm. It's going to blow over, hit real quick, and then things are going to lighten up pretty quick. It's not very wide of a storm, so things should calm down fairly quickly behind this line. It's very skinny, but it could still pack a punch. A lot of our trees and structures were just impacted by a windstorm not produced from thunderstorms. Friday afternoon, winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour across the state of Indiana. So if you have any trees that have perhaps some loose limbs, loose shingles, which are already loosened by our windstorm today, but also Friday afternoon, do be mindful of that as well. So do watch out for additional trees or shingle loss that were previously impacted by our windstorm Friday afternoon. Going back down the line here towards the Terre Haute area, Rockville, Indiana, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. You can see our line just off to the west here. I think the strongest portion of this line, at least based on radar, we are kind of in a radar gap here, but it is closer to the Paris, Illinois area coming in to the Terre Haute area. Still, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a half an hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. The storm is also moving off to the east at, looks like, 45 miles per hour. So a little bit slower on this section of the line here. Marshall, Illinois. So this line is going to be moving into Sullivan County as well as the Terre Haute County areas here over the next 20 minutes or so. This line is still just off to the west here across state lines in eastern Illinois. Hasn't quite crossed the Wabash River yet in this portion of the state. Severe thunderstorm warnings well out ahead of this line to give you the most warning as possible to prepare for the storm. Now's the time to put your cars in your garage or pick up any loose items that are outside. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail, once again for the Vincennes area, Knox County, coming back down to the south towards Gibson County, Posey County, Vanderburgh County, northwest Vanderburgh County in a severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. Just have to watch for those embedded circulations along this line. Damaging winds, though, appears to be the primary risk with this line. Notice the perpendicular nature of this line, too. It is really north-south oriented. The better, it's not properly aligned to really maximize our tornado potential here this evening. If we were to see that oriented just a little bit differently, we would have interacted with the wind shear a little bit better. But because it's really north-south oriented, it's not quite oriented correctly to really maximize our tornado potential. But there could still be a few spin-up tornadoes on this line here as well. Tornado watch in effect for central Indiana, southern Indiana till 3 a.m. Eastern, as well as a severe thunderstorm watch for areas to the north, including Fort Wayne, Indiana, Logansport, Indiana, all in a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Only severe thunderstorm warning for northern Indiana is in the Lafayette area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. The storm is going to be moving towards the Delphi area, as well as Frankfort, Indiana, as well. Crawfordsville, not included in this severe thunderstorm warning, but we do have some heavy lines of thunderstorms moving your direction as well. Could still see some gusty winds. A little bit kind of a weaker section right in here, a little bit of a gap there, with the strongest portion of the line being up here to the north, closer to Lafayette. Winds up to 60 mile per hour, penny-size hail. Just off to the south, you can see it's a little bit better organized right in here. Paris, Illinois, Robinson, Illinois, moving into the Terre Haute area. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail. So it's a possible tornado. I don't see a lot of rotation here, but we are in a radar gap here where the radar is a little bit elevated, so we may not see those little embedded circulations as well as we would have if it is closer to the radar site as well. Moving back down to the south here towards Vincennes, Gibson County, Vanderburgh County, Posey County. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for this portion of the line. This portion of the line appears to be the most organized section of the line right in here. This will be probably the section to watch as it moves towards the Jasper area as well. Perhaps getting in to the Washington area as well. But this portion of the line appears to have the most organization to it, and it's oriented a little bit better as well. So something to keep an eye on as well. There are some embedded little weak circulations within this. See these little kinks? Here comes their next radar slight. A little bit less there, but you can see how it's kind of wavy along the leading edge. That is something to keep an eye on. Tornado possible tag within this severe thunderstorm warning. Not really one area of rotation that really sticks out above the other, as they're all rather weak in nature, but there are some embedded circulations within this line. So do take it seriously. Tornadoes can spin up very quickly in this type of setup here, and oftentimes in between radar scans or undetected at all. So do keep that in mind. Interior room, away from windows until the storm has passed. Also, torrential rainfall is also occurring within these storms. We also have some moderate to heavy rainfall way out ahead of the main line from B-Town all the way down to Owensboro, Kentucky. Nice heavy rounds of rain and embedded thunderstorms developing ahead of this line. So far, not severe, but there could be some gusty winds perhaps in the Boonville area. See a little bit of gust front right there, but well below severe criteria with these storms as well. Going back up here to the north, things should be starting to lighten up here in Lafayette. Here, give it another 10 more minutes here, and things should be improving in Lafayette. Behind this line of storms, you're going to notice the winds will pick up out of the west, northwest, and temperatures are going to plummet very, very quickly. Notice up here in blue, winter weather advisories are in effect. Yeah, if you're in South Bend, you're in a severe thunderstorm watch and a winter weather advisory at the same time.
Did you have to go there, Caleb? I'm kidding.
What's that?
Did you have to go to the winter side of things, Caleb? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, it's no one likes to hear it, but it is what it is. We'll see lake effect snow and snow showers develop overnight tonight and into tomorrow behind our cold front. So it may feel like spring right now. tomorrow morning, it will not feel like spring. Snow squalls are also possible tomorrow afternoon across the entire state of Indiana. Kind of weird to think about that, but it is March. March in Indiana is notorious for these wild temperature swings and big time storm systems, which can raise and drop temperatures quite significantly in a short period of time. Very March like pattern here, very typical for this time of year. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for the Lafayette area, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Go ahead and move back down the line here just to cover everything from north to south. So the warning up here in Lafayette area, 24 more minutes, 60 in Penny, towards the Rockville, Brazil, Terre Haute areas as well. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Penny-size hail is 3/4 of an inch in diameter, which can leave some small dents in your vehicle. So probably a good idea to make sure they're in a car part or garage if you have it. But that is below severe criteria in terms of hail. This is what makes these storms severe is the damaging wind risk associated with them. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with these, but also remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once in your basement or a small room in a sturdy structure. I will add on that warning though, don't wait to spot the tornado. These lines are moving very, very quickly at 50 to 60 miles per hour. Also, there's not a lot of lightning within this line here as well. Don't wait for lightning to illuminate anything. Make sure you're in your safe place and have your weather radio turned on or your smartphone turned on with your alert notifications on and await the all clear. Currently, no tornado warnings in the state of Indiana. All severe thunderstorm warnings, though, do have a tornado possible tag on it, just for the possibility of a spin-up tornado along the leading edge of the line. I'm going to get some good data here as the line of storms is moving over to the radar site here in southern Indiana. So it should have pretty good measurements here. So there's a lot of instrumentation there, and we'll get some good samples here, some good data. So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service does to this warning here. They'll likely continue it. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail for Gibson County, Vanderburgh County, as well as Posey County. Mount Vernon, not in a severe thunderstorm warning. This would be for northern Posey County. However, probably getting some gusty winds and small hail there as well. Evansville itself, currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning. Armstrong and Vanderburgh County is in a severe thunderstorm warning. Gonna have to watch these storms, though, Evansville. They are coming your way. Go ahead and hit play here on the radar. You can see this line progress eastward here. It is looking rather healthy here across southern Indiana. This is probably the strongest portion of the line impacting the state currently, and looks the healthiest on radar as well. But don't let your guard down if you're in central Indiana or northern Indiana. Damaging winds or strong to damaging winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour possible along this line. Currently, Lafayette, Indiana, things are starting to improve. The strongest winds are on the east side of town, crossing I-65. Crawfordsville, Indiana, right on the leading edge. You'll see the rain pick up here and get some gusty winds pick up as well. Coming down to the Rockville area, severe thunderstorm warnings for 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, as well as penny-size hail. You can see the line just off to your west here, coming across a state line right now. Same thing for southern Vermilion County as well, getting in on some locally strong to damaging winds of 60 miles per hour, or up to 60 miles per hour associated with that. Going back down here towards the south, severe thunderstorm warning continues for western Indiana. This is for Vigo County, Sullivan County, Knox, Clay, Greene, and Davies County. And this is in effect for 21 more minutes here. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The storms are moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So pretty fast forward motion here with our thunderstorms. A lot of our thunderstorms will be moving east-northeast at between 50 and 65 miles per hour, and perhaps faster at times as well. Our squall lines are notorious for being fast movers across the state of Indiana. Once this line does impact your location, you're on the backside of it, your severe weather risk will be over here for the evening, and your temperatures will drop very, very quickly. I'm not sure what is going on with velocity here. That is going just funky. That's just a radar product issue there. Going back down to the south here, again, not a severe thunderstorm warning for Evansville, itself or Mount Vernon. This would be northwest Vanderburgh County, northern Posey County, as well as western Gibson County under our severe thunderstorm warning for 19 more minutes here. Or until 9 o'clock Central Time.
Measured gust out of Lafayette of 47 and also 50 miles per hour.
So that is just below severe criteria. A warning is 60 miles per hour, so there perhaps could be some embedded wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. But it sounds like that measured report was just below severe criteria. But there could be some embedded stronger gusts in there. You can see that big bow echo there. Could have some embedded gusts up to 60 miles per hour. But that was a measured report of just below severe criteria.
Looks like that was taken off the airport, just so you're aware.
Okay. That'd just be on the west side of town there, just south of 52 and 231. So that line moved through.
Caleb, I also want to draw attention down to Gibson County by the radar there. There's some very isolated pockets of some heavier wind gusts coming out of the radar near Owensville, but also further north heading toward Patoka and Princeton. There's a little bit of a pocket of 60 to 65 mile per hour winds.
Right near Lyles Station and Oroville as well. I can see that. Yep.
And then also further north up and down that line there's a little bit more of a pocket up by St. Francisville heading toward Decker and looks like Iona. Not sure I pronounced that. But that latest scan there actually increased the velocity heading toward the Monroe City area in Knox County.
There. Got the velocity back there. Here are the pockets. I'll go ahead and highlight it for you. Right in here, and right in here. So these three areas are right where you see the brightest reds. Those are some pockets of stronger winds within this line here. The south one here is just north of Fort Branch, Owensville area, moving towards the Princeton area. Nice pocket there. Also near the Patoka area, a nice pocket of stronger winds right in here, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. That's coming up to 41, getting ready to cross 41 into Patoka here, and could be coming into town right now. We're just waiting on the latest scan. Also, another pocket of some stronger winds near the St. Thomas area in Decker. This would be in Knox County, just south of Vincennes. Some stronger pockets of wind there. Nothing that really screams strong rotation, but there could be perhaps maybe a brief area of low-level rotation within there, but nothing that really signifies an immediate tornado. But there is a tornado possible tag on our severe thunderstorm warnings. Sometimes the radar does not give the best interpretations of how strong our rotation is on these shallow end events like we have here today. Damaging winds is the primary hazard here today, but a spin-up tornado is possible. We have a tornado watch across central and southern Indiana. Goes into effect until 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2 a.m. Central Time. Also, northern Indiana, you're in a severe thunderstorm watch, including the Fort Wayne area, until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Currently, our severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for 46 more minutes. Actually, we just got or they just trimmed that back a little bit. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail, as well as a possible tornado within this line. I don't see a lot of rotation here, mainly a damaging wind risk here, but a brief spin up tornado can't be ruled out in any of these storms here this evening across Indiana. However, damaging winds is the primary hazard across the state of Indiana here this evening.
Look like they reissued a warning, Caleb, for Carroll, Clinton, Montgomery, and Tippecanoe County until 10:30.
Yeah, I just saw that come through.
Trying to find out the hazards with it, but go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like the same hazards it was previously. Terre Haute, Rockville, and Brazil. Our line of storms is going to be moving into the Terre Haute area here momentarily. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail are possible here within the storm. Same thing with Sullivan County as well. 60 mile per hour winds and penny size hail. There are possible tornado tags on these severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So do be alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. Interior room, away from windows. Put as many layers between you and the outside as possible. Going back down south here, this portion of the line is still, in my opinion, maybe Ryan will agree or disagree with me, with this portion of the line is the healthiest, and I believe it's oriented a little bit better as well. It's interacting with our shear vectors a little bit better as well. This is
Yeah,
down
there's
in the Gibson County, northern Vanderburgh County. Think like northern Vanderburgh County, all the way up to Knox County. This area right in here is probably the most healthiest portion of our line in the state of Indiana at this point in time. At least it appears to be the strongest as well. And it also does have, you can see how it's bendy, it's wavy. There are some embedded circulations within this line. You can see some stronger gusts associated with it as well. And you can get, embedded circulations along these protrusions as well. You have faster winds next to slower winds. You can get a little bit of a low level rotation to develop there as well. You can also see some little hooks or kinks in our line as well, from Princeton to Patoka up to Hazleton and Decker. You have to be alert for a possible spin up tornado as well. This line is moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour, tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and penny-size hail. Go ahead, Ryan. I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think the real concern that I have right now, based off radar, would be in Knox County, heading toward Monroe City. There is now a pocket. I'm picking up 76 miles per hour, heading toward Monroe City. A little bit of a pocket there, that brighter red that kept circling, headed over St. What is that town? I don't have it on my.
St. Thomas, coming near the Verne area, Monroe City, just south of Vincennes. You can actually see an embedded bow echo within this line here, where you have probably an RIJ, rear inflow jet is the term for it. Basically, that's some really fast winds being funneled down to the ground along this line. There you can see that pocket there moving, and that's going to move near the Verne area. Vincennes also getting into the pocket, probably up to 60 miles per hour right in there, with a stronger pocket just to your south in our embedded, little bit of a bow echo within our line here. That is moving a nice pocket of perhaps 60 plus mile per hour winds up to the Verne area, Monroe City, maybe even some 70 mile per hour winds right in there.
Yeah,
an isolated pocket.
Also, keep a close eye on Patoka. That's starting to merge with a sellout ahead of it, and looks like it might be having some little bit of discoloration going on there. So we're going to watch Patoka carefully.
Yep, watching this whole southern portion of the line here, this is definitely probably the most organized section of the line of thunderstorms. Currently going to have to watch this for damaging winds and the threat of a spin-up tornado or two. Going back up here to the north, I don't want to leave anybody out. Lafayette, things are improving for you. The worst of it is over. It is off to your east. Lafayette, you are in the clear. Same thing for Battleground. Once this line moves over, you, wherever you live in the state of Indiana, once it impacts you, you're in the clear. If it has not impacted you, you are not in the clear currently. If you're in far northern Indiana, just rain for you. I really don't see anything north of this feature here. We're going to have to keep an eye on this if something becomes better organized, or if this portion of the line near Lafayette moves further north. But for right now, mainly just heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds, but mainly just heavy rain and embedded thunderstorms from LaPorte, St. Joseph County, Elkhart County. You are in a severe thunderstorm watch till 2 a.m., but for right now, looks to be mainly a rain and thunderstorm threat right now. Do watch out for ponding. Some heavy rainfall is falling right now. So do watch out for ponding if you're on US 30, 31, 90, 80 corridor, and 94 in northern Indiana. And anywhere in Indiana, watch out for some ponding here this evening. Heavy rainfall is another hazard here this evening. Going from north to south, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect. This is for Carroll County, Tippecanoe, Clinton County, and northern Montgomery County until 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail. You can see the gust front right in here coming towards the eastern edge of the box just outside Frankfort, Indiana. Have to see if we get a downstream warning on that or not. See what the National Weather Service is feeling there. Our line is coming into Terre Haute, Indiana right now. Same thing, Sullivan County. Have a nice squall line coming in, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. There is a possible tornado tag. I don't see a lot in the way of rotation up here. I don't see as many kinks on this portion of the line. You can see we're straight as a pencil on this portion of the line. So mainly a damaging wind risk and small hail up to penny size. The hail risk is not a big concern across Indiana today. No large hailstones, nothing like what we saw last week across Indiana. We aren't really expecting supercell thunderstorms today, just a line of storms associated with our cold front. We call this a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. Basically, that's a fancy term for a squall line along an advancing cold front. A little bit different of a setup compared to what we were seeing last week. There is a little bit of perhaps maybe Ryan some broad rotation right in here. You can kind of see that coming through. There's the next scan. Yeah, a little bit there. Either way, a nice surge of some damaging winds coming into the Petersburg area, and our damaging winds continue near the Vincennes area, just southeast of town. You can still see that embedded bow echo within our line here coming near the Verne area, a nice pocket of perhaps 60 to 65 mile per hour winds, maybe even a little bit stronger as well. This is moving off to the northeast. This will be coming near the Bicknell area, perhaps in Plainville, Indiana as well. Keep an eye on this line as well. Petersburg, Indiana, strongest winds just off to your west. Likely see a downstream warning for you here pretty soon if this line continues at its current strength. Going to have to keep an eye on that. Moving back south towards Evansville. Have some gusty showers. Currently not severe warned for Evansville. Areas to the north under that severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Vanderburgh County, northern Posey County. Southern Vanderburgh, currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning, but we could see some gusty winds and small hail for you as well. Definitely not out of the question. Areas to the east getting into some rain, even some embedded thunderstorms from Jasper, Du Bois County, all the way up to Marion County, Indianapolis, getting some nice rain with our squall line still off to the west.
Caleb,
Go ahead.
Another warning just came in, for a large warning for Clay, Greene, Knox, Park, Putnam, Sullivan, Vermilion, and Vigo County until 10:30 p.m. Damaging wind to 60 miles per hour and a tornado possible tag.
Oh, okay. So they were issued within the same warning box then.
It looks like it, yeah.
I see that there. Okay. Watching this area here, Ryan, this is in, I believe, northeastern Gibson County. Perhaps an embedded circulation there just to the west of Petersburg, Indiana. Either way, some strong straight line winds expected with that feature there. Perhaps 65 miles per hour or even a little bit stronger, actually getting closer to 70 miles per hour right in here. A nice pocket of really strong winds, perhaps up to 70 miles per hour, or some embedded rotation here associated with that cell as well. Nothing
New warning now for Cass, Fulton, Miami, Pulaski, and White County.
Northern Indiana just issued that warning there. But perhaps some broad circulation there just to the west of Petersburg. Damaging winds, regardless with that storm, perhaps up to the radar I have, Ryan, is showing pretty close to 70 miles per hour there on the 952 scan just to the west of Petersburg.
Yeah, I got
right in here. So getting close to 70 there with that cell. Kind of surprised there's that downstream warning here.
Yeah, a little bit surprised for northern Pike County.
Yeah.
Also, that is 1,000 feet off the ground, so it's relatively low to the ground, not on the surface, because 1,000 feet is actually relatively low. Some places in Indiana, the radar beam can be reaching 7,000 or 8,000 feet. So when you have this kind of data at 1,000 feet, it's a little bit more concerning because it's a little bit lower to the ground than what we usually have. Looks like Northern Indiana for that latest warning in Cass, Fulton, White, Miami, and Pulaski County, they went ahead and corrected it with a tornado possible tag now on it as well.
So that'd be 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail, and a tornado possible. I guess the tornado possible tag hasn't popped up on my end yet.
Yeah, they actually just corrected it. So
Okay.
it should take a second.
Let that re-update here.
I would go ahead and say if you're in northern Pike County, I would be taking your precautions and heading to shelter. There's no warning for northern Pike, but the wind that we're seeing on radar moving into the county does warrant mention of some pretty strong gusts. So especially the northern half of Pike County, as Caleb just circled there, heading toward Petersburg area, Oakland City as well. You guys should be inside away from windows. There's some pretty good gusts heading your direction based on the radar data.
Have to see what ground reports indicate there, but definitely some strong damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Perhaps some embedded pockets a little bit stronger as well, especially northern Pike County, just to the west of Petersburg. That would be get some better towns in there closer to it. Union and northern Pike County, Coates Springs, State Road 56, getting some nice strong winds there as well. Oakland City have a nice gust front just to your west, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour there. Somerville as well.
Taking a peek further north as well, this line continues to move through Knox County, Sullivan County, and Vigo County. If you're in Clay, Greene, or Owen counties, you're on deck for this line of storms. The lightning threat with this should be gradually decreasing with time. Overall, we get later on, our storm fuel will decrease, and overall lightning will also decrease. So it might turn into a little bit of a low top line. New warning now coming in, severe warning for Davies, Knox, and Sullivan County until 10:45. So new warning coming in now. A lot of these warnings are just being reissued because this line has kind of slowed down just a little bit. So the warnings that are in place are expiring. So we're seeing a lot of these repeat warnings for the same county just because the line is moving a little bit slower than anticipated. So with that said, again, that latest warning includes Davies, Knox, and Sullivan County until 10:45 now.
The same hazards continue within that warning: 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. Those are the current hazards here within these warnings. And I believe all of these warnings are currently tagged for a possible tornado, as well as damaging winds.
Yeah,
Northern Indiana still has yet to populate that correction if they corrected that or if they took it off.
let me look at this real quick.
Currently,
says-
I have 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail.
Let me see if I have it on my end. It says correction on my end, and it does have the tornado possible tag on GR2 analyst.
Okay, that could just be a radar data feed issue then. This line is getting ready to move into Logansport, Indiana area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, tornado possible within that. We'll go ahead and call that as it is. Our could be a data feed issue within this radar product here. Terre Haute, Indiana, you're in the thick of it now. Same thing with Sullivan. Conditions should be improving here. Give it about 10 more minutes, and we should see the worst of it move past your location. Currently 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. Severe thunderstorm warning, was it canceled for Gibson County?
No, I still show mine in effect for Central Gibson.
Okay, switching radars then.
New warning now for Carroll, Clinton, Howard, and Tipton County until 10:45 coming in.
That is up here in northern Indiana. Quite a large warning here. This does include the Kokomo area, Howard County. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail associated with this line here. See a nice gust front leaving Rossville or coming into Rossville, Flora, and Frankfort. Winds up to 60 miles per hour.
Caleb, I just got the warning dropping off my end in Gibson and Pike County as well. So I am now warningless down there.
The special weather statement down there for winds up to 50 miles per hour.
So they're going to go sub-severe with that southern part of the line, which is a little bit surprising in my opinion, based off radar reflectivity and velocity here. They're
for
saying
the northern half, like Pike County. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few stronger gusts mixing down, perhaps greater than 50 miles per hour from Oakland City to Petersburg.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Caleb. A little bit of a head scratcher why they discontinued that warning there. That seems to be the strongest part of the line, in my opinion. But it's also perhaps some good news that this line is weakening a little bit too. So let's keep a close eye on that. Overall, many severe warnings do continue, all with 60-mile-per-hour winds as a main hazard. But with the environment tonight, we can't rule out a quick spin-up tornado happening anywhere along this line, really. I do not have any main reports coming in, just so you're aware, Caleb. I don't see anything coming in from that southern Indiana line at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I was looking for that here behind the scenes as well. I don't have any.
I'm about to pull up the observation map here, see if I can get a solid wind gust reports as well, so we can kind of verify.
Yeah, Knox County still under severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. This goes until 10:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So it has slowed down just a little bit. Tornado possible tag remains on this severe thunderstorm warning. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. However, the primary risk throughout up and down this line is going to be damaging winds. Damaging winds is the primary hazard here this evening. However, a spin up a tornado cannot be ruled out anywhere from the Logansport area on the northern extent of this line all the way down to the Evansville area and areas east. Definitely can't be ruled out within this line. This line is expected to gradually weaken with eastward progression. Right now, it's currently at its strongest point. A little bit lower confidence across eastern Indiana, closer to Ohio, as we are expecting to see that gradual weakening trend with eastward extent. But we're just going to have to watch and see how this line progresses. A little bit of an observational waiting period just to see how things progress from there.
We have a super chat here on YouTube asking, how do we think the Fishers area is going to be tonight? Kayla, do you want to take that, or want me to take that?
Absolutely. So, got a little bit of a ways to go here yet. Severe thunderstorm warning just off to your north for Howard County. This portion of the line is a little bit further ahead than areas back here towards Terre Haute. For the Fishers area remotely, gonna have to keep an eye on the line closer to Terre Haute and Rockville as it enters this area. Same hazards apply. I think damaging winds is the primary threat for the Fishers, Noblesville, Indianapolis area. Can't rule out a spin up tornado, but we still have maybe an hour or so before this line gets closer to you. Getting into some rain right now, but every bit of an hour, I think, before this main portion of the line impacts the Fishers area directly. You'll see areas to your north get impacted first, as this portion of the line is a little bit of ahead of the southern and central portion of this line. Damaging winds to 60. Perhaps hail. Hail is not a big threat, but small hail, pea-size to penny-size hail, as that low risk for a spin-up tornado as well. I think the tornado risk across Indiana is a lot lower than expected here this evening, or what was previously forecasted in days prior. And a lot of that has to do with the orientation of our line. It's more north-south oriented. And also our shear vectors aren't quite aligned as what was previously thought a day or two ago as well. But a spin-up tornado can't be ruled out anywhere along this line through the duration of the night. So don't let your guard down. Just because it is lower does not mean it is zero. Tornadoes can develop and will develop from severe thunderstorms. They can and they have. So do not let your guard down throughout this line as well. But we do expect a gradual weakening trend with eastward extent. Hopefully, we'll start to see that here soon.
Looking at the wind gust report out of Oakland City, it looks like 28 miles per hour is the max gust so far.
So maybe a good sign there. If these winds are remaining elevated, maybe the rain out ahead of it created a stable layer in the atmosphere, or a PBL, so to speak, acting as kind of like a lid to keep these winds elevated. Hopefully that is the case. Areas to the north still under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado tag. Just have to watch trends over the next while here just to see how these reports continue. Currently, there are a few tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings rather here in the state of Indiana. Going up here from north to south, severe thunderstorm warning in effect still for 26 more minutes. This is for the Logansport area, Peru area, does include Howard County as well. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. Grant County not included in the severe thunderstorm warning yet. Currently off to your west. You can see a nice bow echo here, a nice drawn-out line segment here. Some damaging winds on the back side of this as this line progresses eastward. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, and perhaps some small hail embedded as well. Areas off to the north. Not really a lot going on up here besides some heavy rain, maybe some pea-size hail, and a couple of these cells, but mainly heavy rain and some embedded lightning and thunder. But we're also, Ryan, noticed a big decrease in the amount of lightning within this line. We are not seeing the same amount of lightning as what we were seeing in Illinois earlier here this afternoon.
That's a good sign as well. I do have one wind gust report, not severe though, just west of Vincennes. It appears that an ASO station measured 54 miles per hour with that line as it moved into Knox County. That's going to be over Bicknell right now, entering the Plainville, Cornettsville, Washington, and Montgomery areas in Davies County. So some pretty strong winds there, but technically 54 is just below severe criteria. For severe criteria, that's 58 or greater mile per hour winds. So still pretty strong regardless.
Definitely enough to blow some small limbs down or blow some shingles off. Make sure your loose items are picked up out of your yard. Trash cans are secured and lawn furniture is secured as well. Make sure your cushions are put away in a shed or tied down so they don't blow away or go into your neighbor's yard here this evening. Winds are also going to pick up on the back side of the front. Winds are out of the south currently ahead of this line. Winds are going to shift out of the west, northwest behind this line, gusting to 35 miles per hour or so across the state. Temperatures are also going to plummet behind this line as well. We're going to see between this afternoon and tomorrow morning, most of us are going to see between a 40 and 50 degree drop in temperatures, going from the 60s and 70s to the 20s by tomorrow afternoon. So don't everybody jump for joy all at once after hearing that. But this line currently is not producing significant wind gusts at this moment. I haven't seen any reports in Indiana, Ryan, of winds greater than 70 miles per hour.
No, honestly, Caleb, I haven't really seen anything greater than 60 miles per hour yet. I don't believe
Not
I've seen
measured.
one report. Yeah, not measured at least. And that would follow the same trend as what we saw to the west in Illinois. We saw a couple 60, 64-ish mile per hour wind gusts across central Illinois. But as this line has moved into Indiana, I have yet to see anything recent that suggests this is reaching severe criteria. So that's good news. But again, we still have a long way to go here. But as Caleb mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, this line is at strongest right now. It will gradually weaken the later we get. So if we're not seeing anything too bad right now, hopefully the trend continues that we're not going to see anything too bad throughout the rest of the evening. But we're here tracking for at least for a little while longer. This line is now entering Davies County as well as Greene County, Clay County, and kind of break between these two lines. There's a further north line as well, entering the Logansport area, actually over Logansport right now, moving in toward Rochester, Macy, Denver, and Peru areas here shortly. That's warned for 60 mile per hour winds as well as a tornado possible tag.
More of a straight line wind risk with this as well. Not really seeing a lot of rotation within this line at all. And I think that has to do a lot with its orientation, with the best wind shear parameters and the orientation of the line not properly aligned for tornadoes. Yes.
We have a new considerable warning coming in now for those southern counties of Pike, Warwick, and the southern part of Spencer County.
Yeah, Spencer.
So 70 mile per hour winds is the hazard with a tornado possible tag on that. I'm not sure if they had a confirmed report of something come in or what, but
radar indicated according to the warning. This is for Warwick County, southeastern Gibson County, east central Vanderburgh, Spencer, and Pike, as well as Davies County in Kentucky and Henderson County in Kentucky just to our south. 70 mile per hour wind gusts, radar indicated. Now, the strongest portion of this line appears to be in closer to the Pike County area from Oakland City to Petersburg, Indiana. See some really bright reflectivity up in here. But this considerable severe thunderstorm warning does extend all the way down south of the Ohio River from areas Henderson, Kentucky, and areas eastward. Does include the Newburgh area, getting into some gusty winds right now. Boonville, Indiana, Rockport, Dale, getting in on that as well. A baseline severe thunderstorm warning for Du Bois County, for Huntingtonburg, Ferdinand, and Jasper in Du Bois County. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, issued by the National Weather Service in Louisville, Kentucky. Why does my radar do this?
That's a Radar Omega known issue with that. So
Drives
sure why.
me nuts.
same.
All right. Going back up here to from north to south, we do have that considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Also, forward motion with that. These storms are moving off to the east, northeast at 70 miles per hour. So the southern portion of the line is booking it. At 9:08 p.m. Central Time, 10:08 Eastern, severe thunderstorm is located along a line extending from 6 miles south of Washington, or 6 miles southwest of Linville, moving near Robards, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. Hazard 70 mile per hour wind gusts, radar indicated. This severe thunderstorm warning also has a tornado possible tag in it, so do be on alert for a possible spin up tornado. They can form quickly from severe thunderstorm warnings. Just a nice big apex of a bow echo down here across this portion of the line. This is the healthiest portion of the line, is off to our south. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Sullivan County all the way to Rockville, Indiana. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. Going up here to the north, we have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings across north central Indiana. Looks like maybe, nope, it continues. Okay, just disappeared for a minute. They trimmed it back. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. This is for Cass, Fulton, and Miami counties in north central Indiana. At 10:11 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending near Culver to 11 miles southwest of Rochester, moving northeast at 75 miles per hour. So this portion of the line is moving very, very quickly as well. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, as well as a tornado possible. Areas to the south, including Howard County, Tipton County, over towards Frankfort, Indiana, Clinton, and Carroll. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. At 9:57, severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles northeast of Frankfort, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So the southern portion of the line moving a little bit slower than what this center portion of this bow echo is moving just off to the north.
Hey, Caleb. We have a confirmed gust out of Evansville to 64.
So quite gusty here on the southern portion of this line. So gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour. With this line, considerable severe thunderstorm warning with gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible within this line. From Pike County all the way down to southeastern Vanderburgh County, although it is moving out of Vanderburgh County. So Evansville, you should be seeing conditions lighten up here pretty quickly. Your severe weather risk is about to be over here for the night. Give it a few more minutes here to let the storms move the rest of the way out of town. Du Bois County in a baseline severe thunderstorm warning for 60 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail. Areas up here to the north, just to the south and west of the Bloomfield, Indiana area, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail. We have dropped the tornado possible tag on that warning there. Hopefully some good news there. Not seeing a lot of rotation within that line. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully that trend continues. Terre Haute, Indiana, this long severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for 16 more minutes from Sullivan County all the way up to the Rockville area. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail does include the Brazil and I-70 corridor from Terre Haute to Brazil. This line is moving off to the east, northeast at, looks like, .45 miles per hour. The strongest portion of this line is down here in the south, where we have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That's a level 2 out of 3. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning start at 70 miles per hour. And if we get to 80 miles per hour, that'll be a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. We have baseline, which is 58 to 69 miles per hour. And if we go 70 miles per hour to 79, we're in considerable. And 80 miles per hour or greater, that is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds. Not a lot of hail tonight. We're not really expecting hail across Indiana. Some smaller stones, anywhere from pea size to um, perhaps dime size or penny size, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Not a lot of upper level support for hailstones here today in Indiana. Nothing like we saw last week, where we've had some tennis ball size hail and even football sized hail in Illinois. Nothing to that extent here today, thankfully. But damaging winds is the primary hazard here. We can't rule out a brief spin up tornado across Indiana here this evening, but damaging winds is the primary hazard across the state of Indiana.
Two things, Caleb. First thing is thank you, Jimmy, for the generosity on YouTube there with a super chat. Says keep up the good work, IWN. Appreciate your support, Jimmy. Secondly, Caleb, I want you to look down in Warwick County, in particular between Boonville and Linville. There is a little bit of a QLCS type of notch I'm watching very carefully as it moves towards Selvin areas. Yeah, Caleb's already got highlighted there. There
Yep, I
also
was
is a
watching that.
lot. There's a lot of little pop-up cells that is going to merge into this line as well. We're going to watch that very carefully. Cell mergers can sometimes, when they merge together, they can enhance some wind fields, I guess, is the best way to put that. So as these cells merge, they may try to do something a little bit more funny. So we're going to watch this area a little bit more closely here across Warwick, Spencer, and Dubois County over the next couple of minutes.
Sometimes they can enhance or interact with the wind fields around this line. This line is currently moving east northeast at about between 45 and 60 miles per hour. But these storms out ahead of it are moving to the more north oriented than they are east oriented. And when they interact, they can interact with the wind field around these storms and can cause some areas of rotation to develop, or they can influence that. We call that the storm scale process. They can influence the storm scale to encourage some low level rotation, or they can at least influence it to some aspects. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Likely a rain wrapped area of broad rotation there as well, but there is a tornado possible tag within this severe thunderstorm warning. So as expected, some of those brief areas of rotation, not surprising to see that along this line. Going to have to keep an eye on it. Hopefully it doesn't intensify, but it is going to be an area to watch. Strongest area of rotation near the, looks like Dickeyville area coming into the Jockey area, as well as Folsomsville, just to the northwest of Folsomsville. This is going to come near Jockey, I-64 near Selvin.
That latest scan on reflectivity does not look good.
Yeah, nice hook echo here on this cell. A little bit of inflow here. This is our nudger right in here. This is our shower. That's going to be nudging into this cell near the Steindale area. And you can see the broad area of rotation right in here, right about there, would be where it's at. So it is broad, but it is something we're going to have to keep an eye on as the storm continues to move off to the east-northeast at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Back up here across northern Indiana, I don't want to leave anybody out. Nice skinny line coming into the Plymouth area. Could see some brief gusty winds up here, sub-severe, but some heavy rainfall as well. Rochester, Indiana, 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail, as well as a possible tornado. Logansport, things are going to be improving for you. Delphi, Monticello, you guys are in the clear. Your severe weather threat is over. Once this line impacts your location, the severe weather threat is over for your location. If the line has not impacted you, you are still under the gun and under potential threat for severe weather. Kokomo, Indiana, Howard County, coming into Howard County right now, 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. Frankfort going to be impacting you right about now. Although the southern portion of this line looks to be a little bit weaker, especially near Crawfordsville, a little bit of a gap between two line segments. A little bit of a weaker gap right in here with a stronger portion to the north and a stronger portion all the way to the south with a weaker portion in the middle. Got to keep an eye on this center portion here as it goes towards the Fishers area, Noblesville area. But for right now, it is not looking too impressive there for the Crawfordsville area. But this line is expected to move north just a little bit, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Going back down here to the south, where that area of broad rotation was, we do still have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 70 mile per hour winds, penny size hail, as well as a possible tornado. You still see our hook echo on radar right in here. Inflow coming into the north and the area of rotation sitting right in here. There's the latest reflectivity scan. There's your hook echo crossing State Road 64 or I-64 rather, with the area of rotation sitting right about there, waiting on the next velocity scan, which is just south of our new scan. We'll likely see that closer to I-64 just to the north. And here it comes. Yeah, sitting not quite as impressive as what it was a few scans ago. Our hook echo remains, but the rotation is broad in nature. But we do have a tornado possible within our severe thunderstorm warning as well. I'm going to have to watch this as it moves into Du Bois County. That's where this segment is moving into. Velocity doing funky things once again. We'll go ahead and switch out of that. Northern portion of the line, our warning is getting trimmed back. We'll have to see if we get an additional downstream warning for Wabash County and into the Warsaw area as well. We're going to have to see what the National Weather Service deems there as well. We're getting close to the edge of our warning box. This northern portion of the line is moving quite quickly. It's moving northeast at 65 miles per hour, so moving very quickly across the state of Indiana. Areas in northwest Indiana, you guys are in the clear for severe weather. Lafayette, Williams Point, Fowler, Rensselaer, you guys are done, and your temperatures are already starting to drop. If you're behind this line, temperatures are dropping, and they're going to drop very, very quickly. And in fact, let's do something fun here. You can actually see, look what's in northern Illinois already. This is snow from Rockford.
Don't go there, Caleb. Don't go there.
Victoria. So temperatures are dropping very, very quickly. Not a big gap here either from Decatur, Illinois to Terre Haute. It's snowing in Decatur, Illinois, while Terre Haute is getting ready to finish a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is how fast temperatures are going to be dropping behind this line very, very quickly. Not a big gap here between our severe thunderstorms and the wintry side of this system as well. So lots of cold air behind our cold front as it moves into Indiana. So snow will filter in on the backside overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Some areas could see a trace to an inch of snow. Winter weather advisories across northern Indiana for 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches of snow closer to the Michigan border. So winter is not done yet, even though we are in meteorological spring, astronomical spring starting here in a few days. So on the 20th. However, winter says it's not spring yet, so hold on. Severe thunderstorm warning getting issued downstream for Martin County, Owen County, Clay County, Davies County, and Greene County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. Perhaps maybe a little bit of a broad bookend feature here near the Bloomfield area. No significant areas of rotation that I see on radar, but it is a feature to keep an eye on. Areas down here to the south are considerable. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for 37 more minutes. 70-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, as well as penny-sized hail. Du Bois County upgraded to a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. Still a baseline severe thunderstorm warning, but that tornado possible tag has been added to it, likely for some broad rotation right down here to the south northwest of Dale. And there goes my wonky velocity again. It's only been an issue for about 6 months, so you'd think they'd find a fix by now, but they haven't.
Yeah, you'd think. No new reports coming in that southern part of the line that was considerable warned. The only one I have is that 64-mile-per-hour gust that was about 2 miles north of Evansville near Melody Hill, to be exact. This line continues to move to the east. It is now going to be entering the Spencer County area as well as Du Bois. It's already in the western part of Du Bois County and be moving in toward Crawford and Perry counties here in the next 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, moving pretty quickly here. The slowest portion of this line is actually this middle portion here from Crawfordsville, Indiana, down to the Worthington, Indiana area. This portion right in here is moving at about 45 miles per hour, But these Boeing segments that are moving much, much faster. Our northern Boeing segment moving at about, we'll see what this new warning is for. A very large severe thunderstorm warning just issued in northern Indiana. A lot of counties impacted here. Southeastern Elkhart County, severe portions of southeast Elkhart County, northern Wabash County, Noble County, Whitley County, western Whitley County, northwestern Huntington County, central Fulton County, Kosciuszko County, Cass County, Miami, and Marshall County till 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds at 10:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending 6 miles north of Rochester near Mexico, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. A tornado possible tag is included in this warning as well. So severe portions of northwestern Huntington County and severe portions of southeast Elkhart County, like barely in Elkhart County. Areas included Syracuse, Warsaw, North Manchester, Huntington not included. Going to keep an eye on it though, but currently not included in the severe thunderstorm warning box. Wabash, keep an eye on this line. They're not directly included in the warning. You are close. Damaging winds is the primary risk here with this line. You can see a nice big bow echo with the gust front on the leading edge of that as well. Very skinny line here. This line here, like Akron, Indiana, it's really only a couple miles wide. It's really skinny. Going to be a quick hitter, and then this line will be over, but there could be some strong winds along this Boeing segment here as well. Fort Wayne, Indiana, Auburn, DeKalb County. Going to have to keep an eye on this line as it moves in your direction. Hopefully we see a weakening trend before it gets to the Fort Wayne area. But going to have to watch how it trends here over the next hour or so. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 11 p.m. These storms are moving quite quickly, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So not included yet in the Summit City, but going to have to keep an eye on you as well as these storms move in your direction. Severe thunderstorm warning, Howard County, still in effect for 17 more minutes, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail. Frankfort, Indiana, your storms have weakened quite a bit from Crawfordsville to Frankfort, with the strongest portion of this line being Kokomo and areas north for this portion of the line. Moving back down the line here, severe thunderstorm warnings continue. This warning here for the Terre Haute area, Brazil, is going to expire. We don't see a downstream warning yet. That could be a good news that these storms are subsevere at this point in time. For the Greencastle area, I'm going to see if we get a downstream statement or warning, but it may just be that these storms are just not producing damaging winds. So you can see the orientation is a lot different between these storms that are warned and have produced damaging wind gusts compared to these. This is directly north-south oriented, and there's no Boeing segment at all for this central portion of the line. That could make it a little bit harder for that section of the line to produce damaging winds. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning continues for southern Indiana as well. There's our severe thunderstorm warning allowed to expire for the Terre Haute area as well. So a large gap with no severe thunderstorm warnings. This whole middle portion of the line is subsevere at this point in time. You're going to have to keep an eye on that as it reaches towards Circle City and Indianapolis. Hopefully it remains below severe criteria. Northern Indiana, a nice gust front coming through the Warsaw area, Peru, Indiana areas Kokomo and north. This severe thunderstorm warning, I wouldn't be surprised to see that canceled perhaps a little bit early, especially for this area south of Kokomo. Just not a lot going on right there. Could be some gusty winds still remaining, but that line does not look impressive at all in that area. Areas back down to the south where our considerable severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for another 31 minutes. Very strong winds here. Coming into the Huntingburg area and Jasper area, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, tornado possible. There might be some embedded pockets of stronger winds coming into the Huntingburg area as well. Some broad rotation within this line as well. You see a little bit of a kink right in here. Going to have to watch that area for some possible broad rotation or perhaps an embedded mesovorticity within there as well. So watch this area in Du Bois County for a possible spin-up tornado, as well as winds to 60 miles per hour. Could even be a pocket of perhaps a little bit stronger near the Holland area, moving towards the Huntingburg area as well. This is Du Bois County near Jasper. Ferdinand, going to have to keep an eye on you as well. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning just to your south, including the Rockport, Indiana area. 70-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Although I still don't see, Ryan, any more AZOS reports other than their measured report just on the north side of Evansville a while ago.
No, you're right on that. There's nothing new that I'm seeing as well in what behind the scenes type of stuff I'm looking at. So I do see several reports of 70-ish mile per hour winds to our south in Kentucky, but nothing at this time in the state of Indiana.
Currently, the cell that concerns me the most is in Jasper or Du Bois County, Indiana. Pockets of very strong winds right in here and right in here from the Huntingburg area in areas just to the south. Also, some embedded rotation within this line as well. You can actually see a hook echo on radar, a little bit of a kink there, which correlates well with the southern blip here. Just to the east of the Holland area. So some embedded rotation within this line. Going to have to keep an eye on that for a possible spin-up tornado, as well as winds to 60-plus miles per hour. Wouldn't be surprised. Just about 1,000, 1,500 feet off the ground, right around 68 miles per hour, just to the north of Holland, Indiana, and Du Bois County. So a nice pocket of strong winds. There's the latest velocity scan. Still a little bit of a hook on radar there. So Huntingtonburg, Indiana, getting in on some very strong gusty winds. Same thing with Jasper, Indiana. Still 60 and Penny, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a few pockets of perhaps a few stronger wind gusts. Here comes our next velocity scan. There we go. Perhaps maybe a little bit of broad rotation still hanging on there. South of the Huntingtonburg area, but some nice pockets of stronger wind gusts, perhaps mixing down to the surface, coming into the Huntingburg area in Du Bois County. Possible tornado as well. There's some broad rotation within this line. Here comes the next velocity scan, and it's going to go wonky on me. Of course it is. We'll go up here to northern Indiana to look on these storms here. These storms are moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. Tornado possible, penny-size hail. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for the Kokomo area, although I don't really see a whole lot going on in this area, at least on radar. Maybe gusty winds to maybe 35 miles per hour, maybe 40 in the Kokomo area. I really don't see 60 miles per hour here. There is still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Maybe Ryan will disagree with me here, but I really don't see a lot going on for Howard County and surrounding areas south.
Also, when I take note, our own Chaser was reporting a wind gust of right around 20 to 25 miles per hour measured on a mesonet just about 2 miles south of Rochester, Indiana. So this north part of the line does not really appear to be at severe criteria based off what we're seeing off of the latest reports and data.
That was just a few minutes ago as that line moved through. Going back down here to southern Indiana. Nice pockets of embedded stronger wind gusts here. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for southern Indiana. With the strongest portion of the line, Ryan, it appears to be in Du Bois County, Indiana.
Let me go ahead and head back down there. I was just looking at the north part of the line. Give me a second.
Some nice.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree with you with that. Nice wind there, whether it's elevated or surface based, yet to be seen.
Yet to be seen. Yep.
But near the Huntingburg area, for sure, bears watching.
Large severe thunderstorm warning just issued downstream. 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail. This includes Du Bois County, Orange County, and Western Washington County until 11:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These storms are moving east at 55 miles per hour. No tornado possible tag on that warning there. Areas to the north, severe thunderstorm warning issued downstream of our line just south of B-Town. That would be 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, tornado possible tag for you. That is for southwestern Monroe County, eastern Martin County, western Lawrence County, as well as southeastern Greene County and southwestern Indiana till 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, penny-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. That's for this section of the line right in here. Warning just impacting portions of southeast B-Town there. Clear Creek and Harrodsburg there under a severe thunderstorm warning till 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time. With a large downstream severe thunderstorm warning for the Paoli and Salem areas. Salem just outside of the box here, but keep an eye on these lines of storms as they're moving your direction. 50 to 60 miles per hour eastward is the forward progression with these storms. But still waiting on more measured reports to come in or be published. For the southern end of the storm, I still do not have, I guess, a measured report for outside of Evansville, Indiana. So still waiting to see what our confirmed reports are doing on the southern end of this line. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for southern Indiana for 23 more minutes. This is for Warwick County, Gibson County, Vanderburgh County, Pike County, Davies County, and Henderson County in Kentucky. This is for 23 more minutes, although I will say the severe weather threat is over for Gibson County. You guys are in the clear. Same thing for Vanderburgh County and even Boone County. Our line of storms is moving out of your area as we speak. Du Bois County still got a little ways to go yet, as this line is still impacting your area as we speak. Those of you behind this line or have been impacted by this line, your severe weather threat is over once this line moves over your location. Areas downstream or have yet to be impacted by this line, you are still under the gun for severe weather. If we draw it out here on a line, if you are west of this line, you guys are in the clear. Temperatures are going to drop, and you may even see some snowflakes mix in later on this evening. But areas downstream, east of this line, still under the threat for some strong to locally severe thunderstorms.
They're actually just starting to cancel some of these watches further back west. So we're starting to clear off some counties already. So good on the Weather Service for doing that pretty quickly.
Go ahead and show you our watches currently. Go ahead and toggle this on here. So if you're in Northwest Indiana,
Caleb, pause. We have a tornado warning incoming.
So we'll cancel that and we'll go back here to Northern Indiana. Yeah, you can actually see it here. A really nice area of rotation here. This is, go ahead. This is radar indicated rotation. This is for southeastern Kosciuszko County, north central Indiana until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Area of rotation. Go ahead and let me toggle off my watches here just to save some space and make it less cluttery for you. Go ahead and toggle those off. There we go. Area of rotation right in here. You can actually see the circulation right in there. This is a rain-wrapped area of circulation just to the south of Winona Lake, south of Warsaw, is where this tornado warning currently is. The rotation right there on the move. There, it just moved just a little bit right there. Sorry, radar is going wonky again.
I can pull mine up here if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead. May have to send Radar Omega a lovely email after this stream saying, what's the dealio?
There you go. It's just to the east of Claypool, heading up toward Pierceton. I don't have as many cities as Caleb has on his radar, which is a benefit of using Radar Omega. But as you can see, there's some glitches going on there. But with this cell, moving to the northeast here, it's radar indicated rotation with pea-sized hail, also a possibility. This is heading up toward the northeast here, toward the Pierceton area, and eventually toward North Webster. This is going to be in the southern part of Kosciuszko County. and we are tracking this area, this little blue dot here, over the Claypool area. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that. I'm going to go ahead and flip over here to a 4-panel look. This 4-panel look is a little bit confusing for you guys, but for us, it does. It helps us out a lot tracking because the bottom right is your debris tracker. So if there is a tornado that touches down, we're going to see it here, or we should see it on the bottom right side of the screen here. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. We're also going to keep a close eye on other areas as well. We have several severe warnings across the state that Caleb and I are both tracking back and forth, back and forth. We have 2 pairs of eyes on the radar here across the state tonight. Luckily, it should just be a wind threat for a lot of us, but with the latest warning here up in Kosciuszko County near Claypool, we have a tornado possible here with this tornado warning.
And I will add, do not wait to see this tornado. This is likely a rain-wrapped area of rotation. Within that bulge there near Claypool, you can actually see the circulation is accompanied in rain, sitting right in the middle of all of that rain, just to the northeast of Claypool, about a mile and a half northeast of Claypool now is where the center of circulation is. Give you a crossroads section near East 600 South and South County Farm Road is kind of where the intersection of the tightest rotation currently resides. Don't see any indications of a tornado on the ground yet, at least looking at our correlation coefficient, which is our debris tracker. I'm not seeing anything there. But sometimes if a brief tornado does touch us down, we don't always see something there. Fields are not planted either. So this is over a rural part of Indiana. So even if something is on the ground, it may not be hitting anything and we may not know until it does so. So for right now, treat it as if there is a tornado on the ground. This is radar indicated rotation. Pretty decent rotation on radar, may I add as well. This is just to the east of Claypool, moving northeast towards the Wooster area, Winona Lake area, and Pierceton areas under a tornado warning for 17 more minutes here. This is moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. So a very fast moving circulation. Area of circulation just south of Warsaw, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. To give you another road update of where it is now, again, 600 South and South County Farm Road, coming up on South County Club Road as well, near the intersection of 400 South and Country Club Road in southeast Kosciuszko County. This is where this area of rotation currently is. This is going to be moving towards the Pierceton area and areas south of Warsaw. Towards US 30 as well is where this is headed. It really looks like it's going to split Winona Lake towards the Wooster area. Going to go right between Winona Lake and Pierceton, kind of right between those two cities towards US 30.
Looks like the latest scan came in. It still is there, but if we back it up one scan, the rotation was definitely tighter right here by Claypool. Latest scan, it does have that little look to it, but definitely not as tight as it once was here a few scans ago. We will wait for the next scan. It should be coming in any second here. I see the correlation coefficient. There we go. It just came in. It looks like it gotten a little bit more broad too with the latest scans. So it looks like it's not as tight as it was, but still treat this as a pocket of damaging wind as well, because even if there's no tornado here, if I zoom in here with my mouse and hover over this, the radar and this little blue ball on the left side of your screen, that's your wind velocity. It's saying that the wind at this point is 74 miles per hour. So even if there's no tornado, there's still a good chance of some pretty strong winds heading between Claypool and Pierceton here current time at 10:44 p.m. on March 15th. So keep that in mind. Tornado warning remains in effect here for about 16 more minutes. And again, this is heading up toward the Pierceton area. It'll probably go just a little bit to the north of Pierceton. I don't have any other smaller townships or names on my screen here. So just north of Pierceton is where I expect this to really cross.
Close to the Wooster area, which is just the west of Pierceton. We have the looks like the Stonehenge Golf Club directly in the path of this area of rotation. That is going to be moving towards the US 30 corridor. Wooster and Stonehenge Golf Club is where this area of rotation is going. Get rid of that. Kind of right in here. It's a little bit broad right now, but the rotation still maybe stronger near the surface than what radar lets on to be. We can still get brief spin ups along rotating thunderstorms. Wednesday morning was a good example of that in Jay County and Wells County. So just because it is broad via on radar, sometimes we may not be getting a clear interpretation of what is going on at the surface itself. So do take this tornado warning seriously. Interior room away from windows until the storm has passed. The storm is moving off to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So it is moving very, very quickly. And this area of rotation is rain wrapped as well. Don't wait to see any tornadoes or funnel clouds. Already be in your safe place until the storm has passed. Very strong damaging winds, at least moving into the Worcester area right now. Winds perhaps 60 miles per hour or a little bit stronger, with the possibility of a tornado just to the west of Worcester by about maybe a mile. The area of rotation is splitting Winona Lake and Worcester, coming right up on US 30. I don't see any indications of a tornado on the ground at this point in time, but do always treat these broad areas of rotation and tornado warnings as if there is a tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorm warnings, and there is some rotation being exhibited by this thunderstorm. So do be in your safe place away from windows until the storm has passed.
Also, want to give a shout out to the Weather Service in North Indiana. They were on it with that warning. These QLCS tornadoes can spin up very quickly, and that warning came very quickly as that tightened up in about 2 or 3 different scans. So shout out to those guys working the radar tonight. They're doing a great job watching this stuff closely. Latest couple scans, though, as you mentioned, the tornado, the really strong rotation has weakened just a bit. Definitely was stronger back down by Claypool area. And as it moves to the north here, it's broadened out into more of a straight line wind risk. And it's going to cross very close to Pierceton here in about 5 minutes or so. Outside of the tornado warning, I think it's broadened out enough, Caleb. We can probably move down the line here a little bit further south, just check in with our friends in South Indiana, because there are still several severe warnings that are ongoing here for several areas.
A little bit
of close eye on the warning up here.
Near the Cloverdale area, Ryan, is another area of interest. Some gusty winds there, maybe kind of a bookend vortex feature there. Could have some broad rotation associated with this storm here, just on the northern edge of that box there. Kind of some back end, perhaps maybe some rotation or some gusty winds there with that right along I-70. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that area as well. Moving back down south the line here, go ahead and switch radars here. Go ahead and look at Louisville's radar to see if that shows anything differently. There's our gust front here. Some strong winds coming into the Ferdinand area. We do still have our considerable severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for southern Indiana. Winds up to 70 miles per hour. We have a large downstream severe thunderstorm warning, which is a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. So my guess is they're going to let this considerable warning expire, and it has now been replaced with a baseline severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-sized hail, including Tell City, Indiana, the English, Indiana area as well. French Lick, Paoli getting in on some gusty winds right now. There is some embedded broad circulations within this line. Going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Baseline severe thunderstorm warning for you. Bedford, Indiana, under a severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile per hour winds, tornado possible. They've trimmed this warning back with no downstream warning. So we're going to have to watch this line if it maintains its intensity to get a downstream warning, or if we don't see one at all. I'm going to have to keep an eye on these areas as well. Some strong gusty winds moving into the Cloverdale area as well. Go ahead, Ryan.
Just a bit of tip information here. I got a report from Facebook chat here. We do have damage that was reported in Huntingburg. Sounds like some tree damage and perhaps some poles down.
Okay, that is in southern Indiana. Back down, I believe that was in Jasper County, or Du Bois County, rather, in this area here from this storm. And if we back it up, you'd see some strong pockets of what appeared to be some strong straight line winds in this area of 60 plus miles per hour. So not surprised to hear that. That lines up well with radar a few minutes ago. Back up north to our tornado warning, still in effect, and get a load of this southern Elkhart County in a winter weather advisory and a severe thunderstorm warning at the same time. Not something you see all too often. Area of rotation right in here, getting close to the radar now. So this is really close to the surface, coming into the Bayfield area, as well as Lakeview Spring, is where this area of rotation currently resides. Looking at our debris tracker here behind the scenes, no indication of anything on the ground, at least that I see currently on radar. Although the area of rotation is still there, a little bit more of a damaging wind risk right now, but it is hard to tell. We are really close to the radar. So the representation here is not the best once you're in immediate vicinity of the radar, but you can still see it right in here. You can see that little bit of a notch right in there, just south of Bayfield. That's where the area of rotation currently resides, moving northeast at about 65 miles per hour. Road network right around north 650 east. And I don't know if this road's going to pop up or not. 100 north and 650 east is currently in where this area of rotation arrives. This is Kosciuszko County, moving northeast at about 65 miles per hour. I have to see if we get a downstream warning on this or not. That'll be determined by the men and women at the National Weather Service in northern Indiana, which is just a few miles up the road in North Webster. So they are watching this here pretty closely as well. This area of rotation, though, it is rain wrapped. It's kind of right in here on the back end of this, what we call a bookend vortex, where it kind of wraps in on itself with the area of rotation sitting right in the middle of that comma head. Radar just went funky. Gosh, I hate radar, Omega. Coming northeast at 65 miles per hour. There's that area of rotation right in there. Regardless of a possible tornado, nice pocket of strong winds residing within that couplet as well. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect northwest Huntington County all the way to southeast Elkhart County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, as well as penny-sized hail associated with this as well. Area of rotation is starting to move out of our tornado warning box. Hopefully that is a good sign and we don't see a downstream tornado warning. Hopefully that rotation has weakened enough to where we don't need one. That'll be up to the men and women in northern Indiana. Going back down south, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect all the way from Tell City, Indiana, French Lick, Paoli, up to the B-Town area in Nashville, Indiana. In Brown County, now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is a newer warning downstream, just issued for 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail. This is radar indicated, as well as a tornado possible tag on this warning as well. This is in effect for 37 more minutes. Actually, okay, nope, that was just the... Go ahead and switch radars here to see if it corrected on Indianapolis. There we go. "60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail." This warning is for eastern Monroe County, western Brown County, Lawrence County, as well as Jackson County. This is in effect till 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Moving east at 60 miles per hour. Tornado possible tag also included on this warning here as well.
Good news, though, Caleb, with that tornado warning. Issued another one downstream, but overall rotation appears to be a little bit on the weaker side now.
Yeah, hard to tell. We are really close to the radar here, but you can see right in here is where that area of rotation is, maybe just a little bit east of there, south of North Webster. But again, spin-up tornadoes can form very quickly from these embedded circulations. Wednesday morning is a good example of that in Jay County and Wells County, Indiana. But as close as we are to the radar, we aren't getting a super clear image here of this area of rotation, but the National Weather Service go ahead and issued a radar indicated tornado warning. This is for southwestern Noble County, northeastern Indiana, Whitley County, northwestern Whitley County, and northeastern Indiana, as well as east central Kosciuszko County. in north central Indiana. The storm is moving to the north and east at 60 miles per hour. So Whitley County, it is extreme portions of northeast Whitley County, and actually the area of rotation may not go in Whitley County at all. It may just go just off to your north and west. So if you're in the Columbus City area, South Whitley, your phones are probably going off for a tornado warning. Just know it is well off to your north and west, closer to North Webster than it is to Columbia City. So no direct tornado threat to Columbia City or most of Whitley County. The area of rotation is well off to your north and west. In fact, the area of rotation doesn't look to go into Whitley County at all. It is now moving towards the Albion, Indiana area, north of Wilmot, Washington Center. Right in here is where it currently resides. You can see that bookend vortex there with the area of rotation sitting in the center of that feature as well. This is a rain-wrapped area of rotation sitting just behind the leading edge of showers and thunderstorms here. You can see how it bends in on itself. This is what we call a bookend vortex, pulling in air back in here, and you have your gust front right in there in the area of circulation sitting right in the middle of that. So this is a classic QLCS look to it with that embedded circulation here. This tornado warning is in effect till 11:15 Eastern Daylight Time. So if you're in the Albion area, Kimball, Indiana, Cromwell, watch out for this line as it's moving off to the northeast at I think 65 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour is the forward motion progression of the storm. Area of rotation sitting just to the north of the Wilmot area, west of Washington Center, State Road 5, and west 200 south is currently where the center of circulation resides. Also near 125 south as well, kind of right in this vicinity, right in here, or right in here, right where you see that curve in on itself, just to the north of the Wilmot area. Now this is moving off to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. Tornado warning radar indicated. I don't see any indication that a tornado is on the ground, but the rotation is there nonetheless. So interior room, wait for windows until this storm has passed. Some embedded circulation there within that storm. Severe thunderstorm warnings also continue across central and southern Indiana. B-Town areas west under a severe thunderstorm warning for 32 or more minutes. Penny-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado. This includes eastern Monroe County, western Brown County, northeastern Lawrence County, as well as northwestern Jackson County until 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Areas to the south, Bedford, Indiana, no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. Storms have weakened below severe criteria there. Areas just to the east there, we get a different radar look here. Paoli, Salem, Indiana areas in a severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as penny-sized hail. Tell City, Indiana areas north under a severe thunderstorm warning, also for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. This is for southeastern Du Bois County, Crawford County, Perry County, Orange, Washington, as well as Meade and Hancock counties in Kentucky. Not a lot of embedded circulations within this line anymore. More of a damaging wind risk with this portion at this time, but we do have to remain alert for any possible areas of rotation that may develop along this line. Currently no warning in effect for the Indianapolis area, but we're going to have to watch this line just to your west. It is showing some signs of some gusty winds, but perhaps below severe criteria there. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for areas surrounding Columbia City area. So Whitley County, severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. Same thing for Huntington and Wabash counties. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. And honestly, the line from Kokomo, Indiana, all the way to Whitley County, there's just not really a line at all anymore within this segment. It is just rain. So there could be some gusty winds within the showers here associated with the cold front itself, but this line has weakened immensely across northern Indiana, with the strongest portion being up near the North Webster, Indiana, as we have a tornado warning still in effect, although the rotation associated with this has really broadened out. There's the tornado warning has been canceled there. for the North Webster area, but is still in effect for areas off to the east. This is moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Looking on radar, though, Ryan, I don't see a lot of rotation anymore associated with the storm. There may be a little bit still trying to hang around south of Cromwell, but really not a lot. Maybe perhaps it's really hard to really pick a spot.
Yeah, Caleb, the latest couple scans I noticed, the last scan I had rotation was about 7 minutes ago. Excuse me. About 7 minutes ago was the last rotation I saw on radar, and that was right next to the radar. And since then, the last two scans has really just vanished. So I'd anticipate they're probably going to cancel this warning or let it expire here. I'd assume they're going to cancel it though.
Yeah, quite a bit of time left on that warning. You can see the area of rotation right in here. So it would be kind of right in here, just north of the Wilmot area, west of Washington Center. But the last known area of rotation was about right here. You can see once it moves past the X, it really just fizzles out by the time it gets to here. Not a lot of rotation associated with this at this point in time. There still could be down near the surface, but we are really close to the radar here. So we're getting a really good look about what is going on at ground level here. But it looks like that tornado warning may be being canceled early. See what the National Weather Service wants to do there. As that storm continues racing off to the east-northeast at about 60 to 65 miles.
Yeah, we have another tornado warning coming in further south, Clark, Orange, and Washington counties.
I was watching that area pretty closely before I scanned north. Yeah, right in the notch there where I was looking at. This is for Orange County, just south of Paoli is where the area of rotation is, right in here. Right, you see that hook echo sitting right in there. This is going to move off to the north and east at 50 miles per hour. This is for west central Clark County, southeastern Orange County, as well as central Washington County, central Indiana. Some broad rotation here. South of the Paoli areas, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour, moving towards the Salem, Indiana area as well. Kind of right in here, maybe. Nothing super tight, but there is some rotation there. Nonetheless, National Weather Service go ahead and issuing that radar indicated tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect for 42 more minutes here. Storms moving northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Tornado warning does remain in effect here for 11 more minutes here, although these storms are moving out of our box here. So wouldn't be surprised to see that canceled perhaps maybe a little bit early. If you're in the Albion area, I really don't see much in the way of rotation. In fact, here's your gust front right in here. Look how your shear vectors are north-south oriented, and there is your tornado warning disappearing. So no alerts currently for this area up in here. So no tornado warning in effect. I saw some comments of the sirens going off in Kendallville. Kendallville, you're currently at no risk for severe weather at this point in time. No immediate risk, rather. Have to watch this line to make sure it doesn't re-intensify as it goes into your area. But for right now, it is below severe warning criteria. There's some gusty winds, perhaps near the, this might be clear air here. I think that's clear air.
That's clear.
That's clear air. Moving back down to the south to our tornado warning to the south. Broad area, very, broad area of rotation, perhaps sitting maybe right in there, right where that broad couplet would be. That'd be sitting just to the south of the Paoli area near Youngs Creek, Chambersburg, Rigo, moving towards the Hardensburg area, right along State Road 37, right in there. Very broad rotation associated with this. With this tornado warning here. Nothing imminent at this point in time. This is radar indicated. I don't see any indications of a tornado on the ground or anything like that with this tornado warning. Just radar indicated tornado warning for a broad area of rotation south of Paoli, moving off to the east northeast at about 50 miles per hour. But this rotation is very broad in nature as it's moving off to the east. There could be some low-level circulation that the radar is just not picking up on, that it is really shallow. Tornadoes can spin up very quickly from QLCS setups and can form under the radar. So do take this seriously. Go to an interior level of your home away from windows until the storm has passed. This is radar indicated and does include west central Clark County, southeastern Orange County, central Washington County till 11:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:01, severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage were located 7 miles northwest of English, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Hazard tornado radar indicated rotation. These dangerous storms will be near Salem around 11:25 Eastern Daylight Time. Move to an interior room, basement, away from windows until the storm has passed. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Looking for some pretty strong winds. Are you kidding me? Pretty strong straight line winds moving into the Tell City area, and maybe also some broad rotation coming into severe portions of southern Indiana, just to the southeast of Tell City. A little bit of a couplet there, and perhaps some broad rotation there in far southern Indiana. Going to have to keep an eye on that area as well. So some strong damaging winds. I believe that's Harrison County coming in there, just crossing the river there near Cannelton, Indiana. So going to have to watch that pretty closely. Won't be in Indiana for long, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that as it crosses the Ohio River towards State Road 66. Yet tornado warnings have been canceled for northern Indiana. All of northern Indiana is currently in the clear, and there is no severe weather ongoing up in here. A lot of questions for the Kendallville area. Currently just some gusty winds. You can see the gust front stretching from Albion down to Columbia City, below severe criteria up there. No imminent threat for severe damaging winds or tornadoes at this point in time.
Caleb, we do have some pretty strong winds moving into the southern Indianapolis region of Marion County, as well as Morgan and Johnson County. New severe warning issued there. 60-mile-per-hour winds, and there's actually no tornadic possible tag on this. It's just for wind.
Yeah, I don't really see any areas of rotation here, but also, Ryan, look how straight the line is in this segment of the line. Just pencil straight as it is moving towards the Greenwood area. But you can see those pockets of stronger winds, one near the Mooresville area and another just south of the Brooklyn area. So there are some pockets of stronger winds mixing their way down to the ground. Moving back down to the south here to our tornado warning, still in effect. Go ahead and switch radars here back to Louisville. Area of rotation sitting right in here near the Chambersburg area, moving off to the east at 50 miles per hour. Not super strong, but there is some rotation there as well. Also, watching this area here in southern, I believe, Harrison County. You can actually see a little bit of a hook echo here with some strong winds on the south side of that. So there could be, going to have to watch this area for maybe some broad rotation as well if you're in severe portions of southern Harrison County. Is that Harrison or Crawford County?
That was going to be Harrison and near Tell City.
Yeah, that's Harrison, right? I believe.
I'm trying to find Tell City. The reason I don't like using this software I'm using now is because I can't really find towns very easily. It's either Harrison or Crawford. Storms are in Crawford right now, moving into Harrison.
Okay, yeah, this is Crawford County.
Tell City's in Perry County.
Boy, I am. Just shows how tired I am tonight.
Yeah, there we go. I found it. Tell City's in Perry County. Crawford's out ahead of it, and Harrison's out ahead of Crawford.
Yeah, so I'm sorry for naming the wrong county there. So Perry County, Indiana. Watching some strong thunderstorms down there. Primarily a damaging wind threat, though, for you. Tornado warning still in effect for 4 more minutes here. Some broad rotation near the Chambersburg area. Nothing that screams an immediate tornado on the ground at this point in time.
We got Goose Lover back with a super chat asking back again to check on Fishers this evening. Fishers, you're actually getting closer to your threat right now. The line of storms is coming at you in about 15 to 30 minutes or so. Right now, your threat is primarily a damaging wind risk. However, there really has not been any downstream or upstream reports of severe wind gusts. So it might just be a quick hitting gusty line. And hopefully that's all it remains for you. And I expect that here in about 15 to 30 minutes. A lot of these severe warnings in the middle of this line, Caleb, have been left to expire. There's really not much in effect here out
Not
ahead
a
for
lot.
Bartholomew,
And area.
Jackson, Shelby County. There's nothing in effect here. Columbus area, your line is coming at you here in about 20 minutes or so. No warnings at this current time. Really a lack of severe reports coming in from spotters and mesonettes out there. So that's a good sign. There's a couple warnings left in effect here. There's actually a tornado warning in effect, but really there's no rotation that I see currently within that tornado warning.
The broad rotation that was there has become linear in nature, which really is the trend with this line. Areas in between are severe thunderstorm warnings. Columbus, Indiana, nice gust front coming through, but it looks to be below severe criteria, perhaps maybe 30 to 40 mile per hour winds there. Keep an eye on that. If you're north of Indianapolis, not a lot going on at this point in time. Just rain from Howard County, Grant County, Huntington County, just rain and perhaps some embedded gusty winds from LaGrange County to Whitley County, but below severe criteria, maybe 30 miles per hour or so. Really not a lot to really write home about across northern Indiana. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see our severe thunderstorm watch really just be canceled early. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all across northern Indiana. Go ahead and toggle on our watches here just to show you who is in a watch and who is not in a watch currently. We were going to show you that earlier before our tornado warnings were issued. Go ahead and go live here. Areas in pink, into severe thunderstorm watch till 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, although I wouldn't be surprised to see that canceled early. Tornado watch for areas in yellow here. Our watch here to the west should be getting canceled here early. If you are west of this line, you are currently in the clear. Your severe weather risk is over. If you are east of this line or have yet to be impacted by this line, you are still under the gun for severe weather. Go ahead and draw it out here for you. So here is our line right in here. And if you are west of this line, you are in the clear. If you are east of this line, still have a little bit more time to go. Although I will say across northern Indiana, the strongest portion of this line, right about up in here, northwest of Fort Wayne, but still under severe criteria. Winds maybe 30 to 35 miles per hour, well below severe criteria up in here, mainly just rain and some embedded thunder at this point, with the strongest portion of this line south of Indianapolis. I will not answer specific locations in chat. I see we're getting flooded with those. Again, if you're west of the line, you're okay. If you have not been impacted by this line, you're still under a risk. I hope that's self-explanatory there. It should be self-explanatory there. But still watching this southern portion of the line here for Perry County near Tell City. Nice little kink here in the line. Some likely some embedded winds here, but we're gonna have to watch where these indentations are for some broad area of rotation that may develop. But for right now, more of a damaging wind risk. There is a tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning, as well as winds to 60 miles per hour. Tornado warnings off to the south for our neighbors to the south in Kentucky, but those storms look to remain off to our south. Our severe thunder or tornado warning remains in effect. Did that get reissued, Ryan? Now for 30 more minutes here. Our radar indicated.
Not that I saw come through. No, I think they just trimmed it back, if anything.
Just trimmed it back. Okay. Not seeing a whole lot of rotation here. Maybe some broad rotation, but really not much to really definitively say rotation with that.
A lot of chasers out there reporting less than impressive wind gusts with this line. Mezzanet's also recording really 30 to 40 mile per hour winds at best. There's really not many areas gusting to severe criteria right now.
Not a lot. Gusty line of thunderstorms coming into the Indianapolis area. National Weather Service in Indianapolis currently sampling this line as it goes overhead. So we're about to get some data from this line as the gust front passes directly over the airport here, Indianapolis International Airport. Indianapolis remote, not currently in a severe thunderstorm warning. Have to see what the National Weather Service records here and what the airport records as well. Some really good instrumentation at the Indianapolis airport. Should have some data here momentarily from this line.
I'll be watching for that, Caleb. And also, when I mentioned that coming out of the radar, it looks like the winds are pretty intense there. So I'd be kind of curious what they record. I'll be keeping a close eye on the observations here, and I'll let you know what I see.
As well. Just had a warning drop off here. Back down here for areas to our south. Go ahead, Ryan.
New warning for Bartholomew, Johnson, and Shelby County until midnight.
60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. No tornado possible tag within this warning here. But there are some pockets of stronger winds, perhaps mixing down to the ground. I believe this, though, right in here is likely some clear air.
Yeah.
It is in between the storms here, but there could be some pockets on the leading edge of some stronger wind gusts mixing down to the ground. I don't think everyone within these warnings here will see 60 mile per hour winds. There's more embedded pockets within this line here versus a widespread steamroller, so to speak. So, but if you're north of Indianapolis, especially north of Frankfort, I mean, there's just nothing going on from Kokomo, Indiana, Peru, Huntington. It is just rain. So I honestly don't really expect, really, if you're in Kokomo, Indiana, your severe weather threat is over. Same thing for Logansport. There's just nothing going on up in here. And there is our severe thunderstorm warning, National Weather Service issuing here for downtown Indianapolis. This is just a software issue. There it is. Are you kidding me? Here it is. 41 more minutes here. Penny size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Does include downtown Indianapolis for 41 more minutes here. You can see a nice gust front here coming into downtown Indianapolis, just from Speedway, Indiana, over to Drexel Gardens. This is coming right along I-70 directly towards downtown. A nice pocket of some brighter winds up to 60 miles per hour being reported here within the severe thunderstorm warning. This does have a tornado possible tag on it as well. There is kind of a little kink, Ryan, here on the north side of this by Speedway, right in there. Going to have to keep an eye on that on the north side of this stronger wind field here within this, kind of a bookend vortex feature. Have to keep an eye on that near the 465-74 interchange coming near the Windale area and Rocky Ripple. Going to have to watch this area on the northern side here. But there's also some little divots here along this line, but nothing that says immediate tornado. But there is some broad rotation within this line. Tornado possible on our severe thunderstorm warning for downtown Indianapolis. And this is in effect for 40 more minutes here, or until 12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tornado warning continues for Salem, Indiana. Go ahead and move back down here to the south. But if I'm being honest with you, Ryan, I really don't see any rotation here within this.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm with you.
I don't see a lot of severe winds within this line either. There could be some mixing down, perhaps maybe a little bit stronger, but not seeing a whole lot there, at least within that segment. Stronger portion of this line appears to be to the south, just to the east of Tell City, Indiana. Nice, healthy gust front here, getting ready to move into Kentucky and perhaps moving back into southern Harrison County, South Corridor, Indiana.
Caleb, the airport just gusted to 58 miles per hour on the dot.
So that is baseline severe thunderstorm warning. That is baseline as it gets. Baseline criteria is 58 miles per hour or greater for a severe thunderstorm warning when we have winds to 60 miles per hour. And actually a really healthy gust front, looking at radar here, from Speedway all the way down to about Southport. Really textbook gust front there, coming into downtown Indianapolis, as well as a possible tornado. Probably the best area for a little bit of a spin up would kind of be on the north side of that. A little bit of a bookend vortex feature there. But damaging winds is the primary risk here within the box. Strongest winds coming into downtown Indianapolis right now will be in Warren Park and Lawrence, Beech Grove, Southport here over the next 5 to 15 minutes here. This line is moving off to the east, northeast, currently moving at 60 miles per hour. So it is moving pretty quick here. But also, Ryan, notice how linear this line is as well. It's quite straight in nature. Should help limit the overall tornado potential with that orientation.
Yeah, I think this has turned into more of like a damaging wind risk. I really don't see much in the way of anything tornadic happening with these cells, to be quite honest with you, Caleb.
I mean, we do still have a tornado warning in effect, but I really don't see anything in the way of rotation here within this cell. I don't want to downplay it completely.
We just know meteorologically speaking, the ingredients for tornadoes are becoming less and less the later we get. So that's good news.
Probably the strongest gust front I see is actually northern Kentucky and extreme portions of southern Indiana. Coming out of Perry County, coming into Harrison County. I mean, this is just a really healthy gust front. But I will be moving completely into Kentucky here and then back into Indiana momentarily within the next 15 minutes. Really nice hook echo here for our neighbors to the south. Hardin Springs, Hudson, Kentucky. This is an embedded supercell. Look at that hook there. Strong area of rotation right in there.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Textbook there, but they have better ingredients once you go south into Kentucky. A little bit more instability to work with down there as well.
Yeah, Kentucky, if you look to the south on radar, it has at least 3 tornado warnings and several severe warnings.
Yeah,
so they're kind of popping off.
Yeah, 3 tornado warnings in Kentucky, kind of all clustered here south of Louisville. Go ahead and look at a couple of them here. Strongest area rotation right in here near Hardin Springs, really nice. Embedded circulation there. Same thing to the south near Leachfield, north of Bowling Green. Looking to the north here, go back to northern Indiana, take a look at this line here. Really not a lot going on here. Nice shear line there, maybe winds to 25 to 30 miles per hour. Not a lot to write home about. We did have a tornado warning up here earlier. There is no rotation at all anymore with this line as it moves off to the east. A little bit of a secondary gust front along the cold front itself. But again, subsevere, below severe criteria if you're in northern Indiana. Indianapolis area getting hit with some gusty winds right now. Worst of the winds are just east of downtown, right in here from Rocky Ripple over to Fountain Square, right in here. Some strong winds up to 60 miles per hour, moving east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. Strongest winds right in here. If I go ahead and zoom in, winds that perhaps maybe a little bit stronger than 60 miles per hour. We got Douglas Golf Course, East 30th Street, coming up to looks like Forest Manor Avenue, as well as Massachusetts Avenue, getting hit with some pretty gusty winds here. This is going to move near the Eskenazi Health Thomas Arlene Grand Campus, so perhaps a hospital there, coming pretty close to you. Strongest winds along I-70 and north, coming close to the Lawrence area as well. A nice pocket of some really strong winds here. You can see the nice bowed out nature to this gust front here, and you can see that on velocity as well. All these brighter pinks here is our severe warned gust front. Going to be coming near the Lawrence area, Meridian Hills, Devon Shore, as well as Warren Park and Beech Grove getting hit with some gusty winds right now as well. Indianapolis downtown, things should be improving for you for the Circle City here over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Give it a few more minutes here to let things calm down here a little bit before you venture out. But the strongest winds are off to your east. Currently a really nice pocket of some strong winds right in here, just to the northeast of downtown, just west of Lawrence, as well up here near Meridian Hills and Rocky Ripple, getting hit with some gusty winds as well, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. Tornado possible, penny-size hail, as well as 60 mile per hour winds here, just east of Indianapolis. Some nice gust front there associated with that. Fishers, Indiana, had some questions in here earlier. This is your gust front to watch. May have to watch this zone right in here. May get pretty close to the Fishers area as it moves off to the north and east. It is moving pretty quick, moving east at 60 miles per hour, or northeast rather at 60 miles per hour. So it is moving fairly quickly. Downtown Indianapolis, things should be improving here, if not already. The worst part of the storm is on the east side of town, east side of downtown rather. But if you're in Beech Grove, Warren Park, Lawrence, and Meridian Hills, some nice, strong, gusty winds headed your way. And we are on rapid scans here. We're getting updates here very, very quickly, which is awesome to see. You can see our gust front progressing here, coming along the I-69 corridor here, 465-69 corridor here on the outskirts of Indianapolis. Fishers, Indiana, probably safe to say you're probably going to get impacted by some of these winds here on the north side of this storm as it's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. This storm is moving very quickly. So Lawrence, Indiana, going to get impacted here by this gust front here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, if not sooner than that. The storm is moving pretty quickly. Shelby County, Indiana, gusty winds, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. You can see these little curly cues on this line here. We're going to have to watch for embedded areas of rotation within these guys. Nothing super tight on radar, but you can see those little indentions right in here. Stuff to watch, but right now, nothing that screams an imminent tornado there. We do still have our tornado warning for southern Indiana, but to be completely honest with you, I don't see any rotation within this warning anymore. It is still in effect. Do take it seriously, but I really don't see much in the way of rotation.
Caleb, I'm not sure if you covered it or not, but very far in northern Indiana, there's a very small sliver under a warning now up by Howe.
I have not talked about it.
Yeah, 60 mile per hour winds are possible for the Howe area heading up into Michigan. So it's a very small sliver of LaGrange County.
In northern LaGrange County, basically LaGrange and north, for this section of gust front right in here. But the worst of the winds are into southern Michigan. It does have a little curly cue there out by Sturgis, right in there. So maybe a little bit of rotation in there as well. Tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning as well. Broad rotation just to the northwest of Sturgis. But the worst of the storm will be moving into Michigan. LaGrange itself, not in a risk for severe weather at this point in time. This is associated with our cold front itself. Areas to the east, Thunderstorms getting ready to move into the Auburn area. Sub-severe at this point in time. Maybe winds to 30, 35 miles per hour, but look to be below severe criteria as these showers move towards the Summit City. Large downstream severe thunderstorm warning now. Tornado possible. Penny-size hail, 16-mile-per-hour winds. Elwood, Tipton, Anderson, Noblesville, Fishers, all included here within this line. You can see a nice gust front here just to the west of Indianapolis, as well as a pocket of damaging winds just to the west of Noblesville. You can see a little bit of a bow echo there and a bow echo here. Wherever we have these bow echoes is where our damaging wind risk will be maximized as well. A little bit of a break directly east or west of Noblesville. Strongest winds to the south and to the northwest. The storm is moving off to the northeast quickly at 60 miles per hour. Going back down to the south, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning does remain in effect. Likely going to let this tornado warning expire. I really don't see much in the way of rotation here at this point in time. Nice gust front here to the south, going to be moving back into Indiana. Really strong pockets of damaging winds here. Moving just to the south of the Corydon area, moving back across the Ohio River. There you can see the update there from Louisville's radar, moving right back into Indiana. Moving back up here to the Indianapolis area. Severe thunderstorms, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny hail, tornado possible within this batch of storms as well. Moving off to the east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. Strong winds moving into the Fishers area right now. Winds up to 60 miles per hour. You can see a nice bow echo here. These little embedded bow echoes here are being responsible for some strong pockets of winds up to 60 miles per hour. Tornado possible also within this warning as well. There could be some embedded circulations here that we're going to have to watch for as well. Currently no tornado warning, but tornadoes can spin up quickly from severe thunderstorms, so we are going to have to watch for that as well. Extreme portions in northern LaGrange County under a severe thunderstorm warning for 28 more minutes here. The worst of the winds is moving into Michigan. So this storm is moving out of Indiana and into southern Michigan, maybe right along Howe and 80-90 corridor, right along the toll road here is where the winds are with this storm. But this storm is about to be fully into Michigan. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. Although the best area of rotation, there's not really a lot of rotation, but it would be north into Michigan. Looking at the line here as it moves towards the Angola area, Jamestown area. Nice gusty gust front here, but really below severe criteria at this point here. A nice gust front coming into Huntington County, kind of gusty showers more than anything here. Not really a lot to write home about. Kokomo getting in some heavy rain, but that is about it. Severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for the Noblesville area. Go ahead and read the counties off here. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. This is for Madison County, Hancock County, Shelby, Rush, Marion, Hamilton, and Tipton counties until 12:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. See a really nice pocket of some pretty strong winds here, perhaps 60, maybe a little bit over 60 near the Lawrence. Nice healthy gust front here, stretching from Lawrence to Fishers, McCordsville, Fortville, all under the gun here for 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado. Going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Up here to the north, another pocket of some stronger winds just to the northwest in Noblesville. You can see that little bow echo there. We're going to have to watch these little bow echoes for some bookend vortexes or perhaps some brief broad rotation. But for right now, straight line winds, primary hazard, tornado possible, penny-size hail as well. As we turn on our hail tracker, go ahead and look here just out of curiosity, just to see what our updrafts are doing. Not a lot of anything. So damaging winds is the primary risk here, as well as perhaps a brief spin-up tornado. But for right now, damaging winds appears to be the primary threat here with these storms. I don't really see much in the way of rotation at this point in time, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it. There are some bends within this line we're going to have to watch pretty closely. Strongest winds currently near the Lawrence area, or just to the south of Lawrence, right in there. Nice pocket of strong winds at perhaps 60, 65 miles per hour near Warren Hills, Warren Park, coming into the Mount Comfort and McCordsville. Nice pocket of winds up to 60 miles per hour, perhaps maybe a little bit stronger in
Large
pockets as
downstream.
well, getting mixed down. We have a large downstream warning now being issued for the Greensburg area, 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. These little kinks that you just have to watch are just going to have to keep an eye on for any areas of rotation. But for right now, it's broad in nature, but 60 mile per hour winds as well as penny-sized hail. Strongest gust front just to the east of Indianapolis near the Fishers, Noblesville area, and Lawrence area. A really nice gust front here, but we're going to have to watch these little bends in the line for areas of rotation that may develop along it. For right now, mainly damaging winds, but there is a tornado possible tag within this warning as well. Moving back down south to southern Indiana, haven't talked about you in a minute. Strong gust front moving into southern Harrison County here, right in here. Moving in the strongest portion of the line just south of the Corydon area. Corydon's still going to get hit pretty good with this thunderstorm. Heavy rain, penny-sized hail winds up to 60 miles per hour, with the strongest winds just near the Ohio River coming to the Brandenburg, Kentucky area, State Road 135 corridor as well. Going up here to the north, I assume they're just going to let this tornado warning expire. I really don't see any rotation at all within this line.
Caleb, I don't see a tornado warning in the state right now. I'm not sure if you're on old radar or
maybe it's just still updating. It still shows one here for.
Are you on WeatherWise?
I'm going back and forth between Omega and WeatherWise.
Okay, WeatherWise has an issue where the warnings don't drop off very fast, so keep that in mind. But I don't see a warning.
Yeah, we're back to severe thunderstorm warning then.
Yep, I don't see a tornado warning in the state currently.
Okay, so they allowed that to be canceled early. It just didn't drop off my stream. So again, a data feed issue with Radar Omega. It's been an ongoing issue with that software. Back up here to northern Indiana. Extreme portions of northern LaGrange County under a severe thunderstorm warning. The strongest winds, though, however, are north into Michigan. Looking back south, line of gusty showers, really. It's hard to call them thunderstorms. There's really not much lightning within this line here. Moving into the Angola area, winds maybe 30, 35 miles per hour. Haven't really seen a severe gust report out of northern Indiana in near term at all. Looking at data here behind the scenes. Looking back south here towards Indianapolis, this is really one of our stronger gust fronts right now. Pockets of 60 plus miles per hour, Ryan, as well as possible tornadoes. And this line, Ryan, is starting to get a little kinky around the Greenfield area and Noblesville area.
I'll take a look at it here in a second.
I'll get
the page update posted.
Near the Atlanta area as well. Some nice pockets of some strong winds here as well. You can see right in here along 69 here. This would be just to the east of the Nestle plant where the Big Bunny is along the highway, pretty close to that area there. Getting in on some strong straight line winds of 60 miles per hour and perhaps even a little bit stronger, perhaps even a few pockets of embedded gusts a little bit stronger than 60 miles per hour within this storm. The storm is moving off to the east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. Expect damage to roof, siding, and trees. There is a tornado possible tag within this storm as well. You can also kind of see the kinks within this line that we're going to have to watch for embedded pockets of rotation. Right now, broad in nature, but there's a nice pocket of very strong winds just to the southeast of Noblesville, coming near the Lapel area, right on I-69, near the Fortville area and Pendleton area. getting hit with some really nice straight line winds right in here with a pocket of perhaps a little bit stronger than 60 miles per hour there. So there are some strong winds aloft being pulled down to the ground. Going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Indianapolis proper, you guys are in the clear. Your severe weather threat is over for Indianapolis. The severe storms are off to your east. Large severe thunderstorm warning for the Greensburg area, Vernon, Indiana. Versailles, not quite in a severe thunderstorm warning at this time, just off to your west and north. Tornado possible tag here as well. Perhaps mainly just the damaging wind risk at this point in time. Don't see a lot of rotation here. This tornado warning is irrelevant. It's not there. Data feed issue. We just have a severe thunderstorm warning in place as well. Tornado warning just to the south of the Ohio River area. Look at the winds here associated with this, Ryan, just south of the Ohio River. You can see this embedded area of rotation, almost kind of like a helix a little bit, where you see that donut hole signature there. This is looks to say south of the Indiana border into Kentucky, but very, very strong winds there associated with that. That's close to 80 miles per hour right there. And you're very close to the radar as well. So possible tornado as well as 80-mile-an-hour winds if you're near the Radcliffe or Vine Grove, Kentucky area. Very potent storm there. However, that looks to stay south of the Indiana border. Going back up here towards the Indianapolis area, lots of severe thunderstorm warnings up in here. Severe thunderstorm warning still for Tipton County, all the way down towards the Greenfield area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, penny-size hail, as well as maybe a pocket of some stronger winds trying to mix their way down to the ground near the Pendleton area, just west of Pendleton near Lapel. Nice pocket right at the apex of this bow, right in here, just to the north of I-69. So do be careful if driving on I-69, especially in high-profile vehicles. Very strong winds here just to the east of the Noblesville area. If this line has impacted you already, you are in the clear. If you are east of this line, right in here specifically, still have a ways to go yet. But if you are behind this line, you are in the clear. No severe weather is expected for you at this point in time. Looking up here in northern Indiana, no severe weather at this point in time. We do still have that severe thunderstorm warning for extreme northern LaGrange County. However, the gust front looks to be primarily in Michigan, not really much at radar here for LaGrange County at this point in time. Light and gusty showers moving through Huntington County and Allen County, but below severe criteria, mainly just a line of showers with winds perhaps up to 30 miles per hour, between 25 and 35 miles per hour. Not really a lot to write home about across northern Indiana. Indianapolis, pockets of gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour and perhaps even a little bit stronger in places as well. Going to have to keep an eye on that. There's your warning being trimmed back out of Indianapolis proper. Indianapolis is in the clear for severe weather at this point in time, but some nice pockets of strong to damaging winds moving near the Pendleton area and Anderson area. Likely see a downstream severe thunderstorm warning here pretty soon. The storm is moving off to the north and northeast at 60 miles per hour. Moving back down to the south here, go ahead and switch radars here back to the Louisville radar. Nice gust front with the strongest winds south of the Ohio River. Corydon, 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail for you. And Ryan is going to talk with you here for a few minutes here. I'll leave radar zoomed out here, Ryan, so you can talk there.
Okay, sweet. I'll be with you guys here for a few minutes while Caleb gets his stuff situated. So right now we have a pretty long line extending from really Kokomo, Indiana down to really Kentucky, all the way into Kentucky. This line has a history of producing severe level gusts as well as sporadic wind damage, mostly to trees and power poles. The good news, though, is damage and overall severe reports have been quite sporadic in nature with this line, but that doesn't mean that the threat is any lower than what it has been. The good news about the threat overall is that as we get later on into the evening hours, the overall threat continues to diminish. So with this line, we're going to be clearing a lot of these people further west here. So if you're watching from Terre Haute or Evansville or Lafayette up to Gary, even in downtown Indianapolis, Bloomington, down toward Paoli and Mitchell and Bedford areas, you guys are all in the clear. Just some light rain for you guys, if anything. If you have been impacted by this line, you guys are also all clear. But out ahead of this, we still have Muncie, Newcastle, Greensburg, Connorsville, Richmond, Versailles, Osgood, Lancaster, North Vernon, as well as Charlestown, Sellersburg, and Henryville areas. So out ahead of that line, you guys have a gusty wind threat. The main concern is gusts up to 60 miles per hour. However, we can't rule out a brief tornado occurring just with the nature of the wind shear this evening. So overall, this threat is mainly a wind threat, and that's our highest concern right now. I'm looking on radar here behind the scenes. I'm on my phone radar. Radar scope is the actual product, and this has a really good look at things. I do not currently see anything rotating in the state. I don't really see really much in the way of anything gusty wind wise, except up where the newest warning is up and just to the east of Indianapolis, heading in toward Anderson, Pendleton, Lapel areas. That area has some gusts up to 60 or so miles per hour. Outside of that, we have warnings all the way down from Rushville to Greensburg, down toward Jackson, North Vernon area. Again, gusty winds. I don't see anything that stands out to me as significant with this line, but it still does warrant mention as we're probably going to see between 30 and 50 mile per hour gusts more commonly, but severe gusts, which is 58 miles per hour or greater, I would think would be a little bit more sporadic or isolated in nature. So going further south, from this line. We do have warnings all the way down to about Louisville, Kentucky. We have Salem on the backside of that line, which is good. We have Henryville, Memphis, Sellersburg out ahead of this. And looking on the radar down here in Louisville, I do not see much in the way to be concerned about anything tornadic wise down there either. I do see a little bit of a gust front taking shape heading in toward Lanesville and Georgetown and Galana areas. Extends up closer to Scottsburg as well as Henryville here in a few minutes. And then that continues northward toward North Vernon and Westport areas. Overall, that is warned for 60 mile per hour winds, and the tag for a tornado possible is on all of these warnings tonight. So, with that being said, we'll be tracking this for a few, probably hour or two more at least. These storms are moving pretty rapidly off to the northeast. So we have about 2 or 3 more counties rows to clear before we're in Ohio, and the threat is over for Indiana. The west side of the state, though, if you divide the state in half from South Bend to Indianapolis down to about Louisville and points westward, you guys are all clear. It's the east side of the state, which is under the concern now. And like I said, the wind is the highest concern, gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Cannot rule out a possible spin up tornado. If there is anything tornadic, it'll be very brief and weak in nature, just due to the nature of these storms this evening. Any questions or comments? I am in the comment section for a brief minute. Feel free to drop them in. As a reminder, I will not be answering any specific location questions. That is why we are live tracking. So if you guys are asking about Richmond or Connorsville or Muncie, if and when the time comes that you need to take shelter, we're going to tell you to do so. So with over 1,000, 2,000 people watching us and asking questions, we cannot get to everybody's question. And it doesn't really help that we have a clogged feed of location specific questions that we really can't answer. So if you need to take shelter, we'll tell you. Until then, we would ask that you refrain from asking about specific location questions.
Yeah, currently, just like Ryan said, if you're west of this line, you're in the clear. Indianapolis, you're good. Kokomo, you're good. But areas downstream still under the gun for severe weather, probably for the next hour or two before our severe weather threat comes to an end. Um, Going back down here from north to south, the worst of the weather is actually down south into Kentucky. Multiple tornado warnings. So if you have any friends or family in the Louisville area or area south, um, do keep in touch with them. Getting very close to the National Weather Service office here, um, directly in the path of some very strong winds here, just to the south of the radar site here. National Weather Service in Louisville, Kentucky, probably taking shelter from this storm. Areas to the north of the Ohio River, though, our gust front, the strongest winds have shifted south of the Ohio River, which is good, but still under a severe thunderstorm warning. For 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, although there is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning that does include southern Indiana. However, the strongest winds are south of the Ohio River and look to remain south of the Ohio River. That is for these winds right in here. So while a destructive severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for southern portions of Harrison County, the worst of the winds are to the south of the Ohio River by a few miles. So we do have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect here for Indiana. However, the strongest winds are south in Kentucky and look to remain south in Kentucky. Going to be heading towards the West Point area, Shepherdsville area, and areas to the south in Kentucky. So do keep that in mind if you are in Harrison County. The worst of the winds are south of the Ohio River, near the National Weather Service's office as well. They're probably taking shelter right now as the strongest winds look to come very close to their office. Coming back up north here in Indianapolis. Go ahead, Ryan.
New warning now for Steuben County, tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
That is extreme portions of northeast Indiana. Area of some rotation right in here near Alganese or Alganese.
Algansey.
I butchered that. I'm not a Michigander. I'm a Hoosier, so I'll butcher that.
But, this is my backyard.
Yeah. The strongest portion of this storm is moving into Hillsdale County, Michigan. I knew that one, Ryan. Moving into Hillsdale County, Michigan. Angola proper, kind of split between this warning. However, the worst of the storm is off to your east. But the strongest
new tornado warning incoming for Rush County.
Is moving into portions of Michigan. And Ryan said we have a new tornado warning incoming. There it is. And there is a couplet there. So good eye there by the National Weather Service. Kind of a bookend vortex where you have the wind and the rain first, followed by that area of rotation just on the back side of it here. You can see that just move forward there, broadened out a little bit in the latest scan, but still there, directly south of Rushville, right in here, State Road 3 and US 52. And actually, I give you an intersection number here. So this is State Road 3, West 350 South. That is currently where the area of rotation is. Going to come just to the south of Circleville, coming near the Farmington area, Mosby area, and perhaps Orange, Indiana. Be on alert for a radar indicated tornado. This storm is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazard radar indicated rotation. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning for the surrounding areas of a possible tornado. But we are currently have a radar indicated tornado warning for Rush County. Broad area of rotation just to the south of Rushville, but also spin up tornadoes can form quickly from rotating thunderstorms. Although the rotation may look unimpressive here, the strongest area of rotation may actually be underneath the radar. So do keep that in mind. Spin up tornadoes can form quickly with the environment that we have here this evening. So do take this tornado warning seriously. Broad area of rotation, State Road 3, as well as West 350 South, just south of Rushville, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is radar indicated rotation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely for this tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect for 21 more minutes here. And this storm is moving off to the east-northeast fairly quickly there. Area of rotation now southeast of Rushville. This is for Rush County, Indiana. Radar indicated rotation there. National Weather Service jumping on that very quickly. Love to see it. Moving up here to the north, a line of gusty showers and severe thunderstorms. Muncie, Indiana, now in a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. This is for Madison County in central Indiana, northeastern Hancock County, central Indiana, Delaware County, and Henry County in east central Indiana till 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These storms are moving off to the east-northeast 60 miles per hour, or 50 miles per hour now, with 60 mile per hour winds, penny-size hail, as well as a tornado possible. We will have to be on alert for areas of spin-up rotation. Up here to the north, LaGrange County, this warning is going to be allowed to expire, no longer under the threat for severe weather. That storm has moved into Michigan, but also has went below severe criteria. Tornado possible, 60 mile per hour winds for northeast Indiana, northeast of Angola. Strongest portion of the storm moving into Hillsdale County, Michigan. Moving back down south here to southern Indiana, I want to make sure I get to everybody here this evening. We do have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, now went considerable, so a little bit lower. But the worst of the winds are south of the Indiana border, but also perhaps some strong winds mixing in near the New Albany, Indiana area, Ryan. If you see that pocket right in there, right on the leading edge of this thunderstorm here, that's winds getting pretty close to 70 miles per hour, right on the edge of our considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible, winds to 60 miles per hour. So embedded pockets of strong winds mixing down to the ground possible all along this line here as it moves off to the east. Back to our tornado warning in Rush County. Broad area of rotation, still trying to hang on right in there south of Rushville, coming up on US 52. It has broadened out, though, in the last couple of scans, but it is still trying to hang on, likely just east of Rushville, probably right in there somewhere, right where you see that bookend vortex. Yeah, right in there, just to the east of Rushville, although it has broadened out significantly. If I go ahead and hit play here, you can actually see the evolution of this couplet here. You can see how it quickly forms and then starts to broaden out here a little bit per the latest scans. These embedded circulations, they're notorious for that. They're notorious for spinning up very quickly, but also being short-lived in nature. That's just the nature of the beast here on these QLCS setups. You see these mesovortices quickly spin up, but also quickly dissipate as well, as the upper level support for long-lived areas of rotation is just not there, compared to what we saw last week where we had long-lived supercell thunderstorms. Nice pocket coming into the New Albany area. This is actually going to move probably into Louisville area. Nice pocket of perhaps 70 mile per hour winds associated with this line of showers here. Nice, very strong pocket of winds crossing the Ohio River just south of New Albany. This is going to cross into Kentucky. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible for Charleston, Indiana. 60 mile per hour winds. This is for northeastern Harrison County, Clark County, Floyd County, as well as Jefferson County in central Kentucky. Jefferson County is also under considerable severe thunderstorm warning as well in Kentucky. Winds to 70 miles per hour possible, as well as a nice pocket of winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour. Getting ready to cross the Ohio River, and there we go. Coming into the Louisville area and New Albany area. Nice pocket of winds, a little bit lesser of a return there, perhaps closer to 50 to 60 miles per hour there. Large severe thunderstorm warning now issued downstream, including Wayne County, Richmond, Indiana. This severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin County, Ripley County, Wayne County, Union, northern Dearborn County, Fayette County, as well as our Ohio counties, including Preble, Butler, and Darke County till 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60 mile per hour winds, as well as penny-size hail. No tornado possible tag on these warnings, although we will have to keep an eye on that, as we do have a tornado warning just off to the west. Although the area of rotation which prompted the warning has broadened out substantially, and our tornado warning has been canceled thereof. So some good news there for Rush County. Tornado warning no longer in effect. The storm which prompted the warning is no longer exhibiting signs of rotation and has been allowed to be canceled. So that is some good news there for Rush County and Rushville. Damaging winds to 60 miles per hour remain possible. Downstream warning, including all of eastern Indiana, including Darke County, Preble County, and areas in Ohio as well, under a severe thunderstorm warning. New severe thunderstorm warning now for Wells County. This is for Grant County, southeastern Huntington County, western Wells County, as well as northwestern Jay County in central Indiana. Wind gusts to 16 miles per hour, as well as a tornado possible. Going up here to that warning here. Go ahead and maybe switch radars here. Just kind of see which one has the best look for it here. You can kind of see a little bit of kind of a bookend vortex here near the Alexandria area, right in here. Some broad rotation, perhaps going to move probably pretty close to the Hartford City area, maybe Montpelier area if it hangs on. But damaging winds, primary risk, but that risk for a spin-up tornado is possible as well. This includes Blackford County, Grant County, southeastern Huntington County, Warren, Indiana, here included in that. Bluffton, not quite included in the box there, but the boot of Wells County is included in that as well. So that's a new warning there issued by the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. Back down to the south here, line of gusty, strong to severe thunderstorms continue. Not everyone will see, I don't think, severe criteria winds here within this line, but pockets of embedded gusts of wind meeting that criteria are expected, as well as a possible spin-up tornado or an area of rotation. Can't be ruled out within anywhere along this line. Southern Indiana, strongest winds moving into Kentucky, right along the New Albany area, getting hit pretty good with some good winds here. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Although I wouldn't be surprised, this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Louisville. But this is a really nice pocket of some strong winds hanging into the Clarksville area and Jeffersonville area right in here. This is extreme portions of southern Indiana, likely some pockets of 60-mile-per-hour winds, if not maybe a little bit stronger right there as well. Going back up here to Indianapolis's radar here, large warnings now extend all the way to the Ohio-Indiana line. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. Although for the Newcastle area, starting to see this line weaken a little bit for your vicinity there. Still some gusty winds, though, perhaps reaching severe criteria along it. Going to have to watch that here pretty closely, but it is perhaps seeing a weakening trend there as well. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning off to the north here. It does include the Wells, Huntington County areas. National Weather Service in northern Indiana issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for Grant County, southeastern Huntington County. Huntington itself not included in the warning. Warren and Huntington County is. This is also included Blackford County, all of Blackford County, southwestern Wells County, northeastern Indiana, northwestern Jay County, in east central Indiana, till 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible within this line as well. Not seeing a lot of significant areas of rotation here. I'm not really seeing much in the way of rotation at all at this point in time within this line. Mainly a damaging wind risk, but there is some, perhaps maybe some broad rotation near the Gas City area. Gonna have to keep an eye on that. Alexandria area, right where you see that little bit. This is what we call a mesovortice. Gonna have to watch that, but it's broad, just to say the least. Mainly damaging winds at this point in time for these areas here. Bluffton not included in the severe thunderstorm warning. Have to watch these storms as it reaches your vicinity there. Coming back south here to Indianapolis, this tornado warning no longer exists. It just has not fallen off my box here. Omega is a little bit slow on updating information on canceled warnings. Strong line of thunderstorms moving into Union, Fayette County, Wayne County as well, although the strongest storm may go just to the south of Cambridge City. Gonna have to keep an eye on that as well. Scottsburg, Indiana, getting hit with some stronger winds right now. Severe thunderstorm warning just to your south for 70 miles per hour. Does include So this warning was upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for southern Indiana. Those were that pocket of strong winds we were talking about impacting the Clarksville area. So a considerable severe thunderstorm warning there. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, right where you see the pinks are. Jeffersonville, New Albany, Clarksville, Indiana, all getting impacted by some really strong winds right there, just impacting the airport there, JVY. So Watson, US 31 here, nice pocket of strong straight line winds. That is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning down there. All of our other warnings are currently baseline severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail for the Connorsville area, Brookville, all the way down to Versailles and Wayne County, Indiana, all under a baseline severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. Again, this tornado warning no longer exists. I don't know why it keeps popping up. New severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for the Newcastle area. 60 mile per hour winds. Does include Hancock County, Delaware, and Henry County till 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and also including the Muncie area as well. Some gusty winds will be moving into your vicinity here shortly as well. Back up here to northern Indiana. Our strongest portion of this line is in Hillsdale County, Michigan. The strongest portion of the gust front is out of the state for extreme portions of northeast Indiana. We do have a northern severe thunderstorm warning now for Grant, Blackford, Wells, and Huntington. This is in effect here until also 12:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, radar indicated, as well as a possible tornado. Although I don't really see a lot of rotation within this portion of the line, but we'll have to keep an eye on it as it moves off to the north and northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Switching radar products here, going back down here to southern Indiana to our considerable severe thunderstorm warning, just a potent pocket right along I-65 and I-265 south of Charleston, Indiana. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning right in here. A nice pocket of 70 mile per hour winds. You can see this bow echo here. This is moving west towards the Watson area, as well as River Ridge and Prather area, right near the airport or just south of the airport, near the Clarksville and Jefferson, Indiana areas. A potent swath of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, likely some 70 mile per hour winds right on the highway, right in here. 265 and Charleston Pike Road. We got a Hilton Garden Inn in this area. Being your safe place here, some strong winds are moving in your direction. This will end up moving across the river and into Kentucky towards LaGrange, Kentucky here momentarily as well. Back up here to central Indiana, heavy thunderstorms moving into the Muncie area. 60 mile per hour winds, tornado possible, penny size hail for you as well. Things will be improving though behind this line. Once this line impacts your location, your severe weather threat will be over, and temperatures will start to go downhill from there. If you have not been impacted by this line along the US 27 corridor, you are still under the gun for severe weather. Back down here to southern Indiana, back down to our considerable severe thunderstorm warning, still in effect here for about 6 more minutes. Our strongest portion of wind is getting ready to move out of Indiana, crossing the river and into Kentucky. We'll be moving towards the LaGrange, Kentucky area. If you have any friends and family in there, just let them know some strong winds are headed in their direction.
severe thunderstorm warning does continue for the Newcastle area. Although likely may see this trim back here. The strongest winds are moving out of the area and looking kind of sporadic in nature for the Newcastle area, Spiceland, with the stronger storms to the south and the north impacting the Muncie, Indiana area. Going back up here to the north, we'll go north to south here. We'll go back to our storm here in southern Huntington County, Grant County, Bradford County, 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not a lot in the way of rotation here. Maybe some broad rotation. I say broad with air tags, really broad rotation, maybe near the Gas City area. Gonna have to watch that near the Montpelier area. Kind of a elongated, kind of a mesovortice there, but elongated and stretched there to say the least. No imminent tornado at this point in time that I see based on radar, but there is some broad rotation there, and we do see a tornado possible tag there as well. Looking here for the Muncie, Indiana area, it's under a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. More of a straight line wind risk here as well. We have going back down to southern Indiana here, considerable severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here for another 4 minutes. The strongest area of winds have broadened out a little bit, closer to 60 mile per hour now being shown up on reflectivity. This will be moving into western Kentucky and will be crossing state line here very, very shortly. And go ahead and take radar full here. And I'll go ahead and draw a line for who is all in the clear and who is yet to see the risk of severe weather. If you are west of this line or north of this line, you are in the clear for severe weather. I know there's still a severe thunderstorm warning up in here. However, this storm is moving into Hillsdale County and no longer poses a risk for northern Indiana at this point in time. The strongest winds are off to our north and east up there in the far reaches of northeast Indiana. Are going to have to watch areas from about Huntington, Indiana, and south as we have a decent storm moving into those vicinities up in there under a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're west of that line, but if you're along the 127 corridor or 27 corridor is really a good road network to mention here for who is in the gun and who is not. If you are east of this line, you're still under the gun, but if you are west of this line, you guys are in the clear. So pretty self-explanatory. If you've seen this line of storms, you're in the clear. If you have yet to see them, you are not in the clear. So leave that up to self-judgment there.
Looking at that top part of that line by Gas City and Marion has my attention, Caleb, as it moves up toward Montpelier and Pinedo.
Yep, I know that area. It's coming right at me.
Watching that carefully, it looks like the radar presentation overall has kind of trended more like a messy type of situation as we move a lot farther away from the radar. I'm sure you mentioned it before. I think we mentioned it several times. But as you move away from the radar beam, the radar data becomes higher off the surface. And with these storms tonight, they are pretty low topped in nature. So we're not getting a good look at what's actually happening on the surface with these storms anymore because they're kind of between all of our radars that we use. So the data that we're using is becoming a little bit less accurate. So this is where you guys come into play, and also where spotters and storm chasers and these weather stations can come in and kind of measure these wind gusts and report as this line moves across the state, where radar can't really fill the full 100% picture. That's why storm chasers and stuff like that exist.
Yep, absolutely. And Wednesday morning is a good example of that too. You know, we had a tornado without a tornado warning. Just happened to be in Wells County. Not that that's going to happen again here tonight, but that goes for anywhere in Indiana during these low top setups to where radar will naturally lose its efficiency with distance due to the tilt of the radar beam and the curvature of the earth. What angle you may be looking at one location may not be the same at another location because of that very reason. And when you have setups like this where a lot of the hazards are very shallow, it's easy for the radar to override that, especially with distance. For example, in this area right in here. We're between Indianapolis's radar as well as Northwestern's radar and Wilmington's radar. We're really in between 3 radar sites here. So the radar beam here is, I believe, Ryan, above 5,000 feet.
Yeah, I could measure. Give me a second.
Ryan can give you an exact number here, but I believe it's above 5,000 feet in this vicinity here. So if anything really develops below that, we may not get an accurate depiction of what's going on. And that's not just exclusive to, this area of Indiana. There are other radar gaps too as well. Think of like Danville, Indiana, the Lafayette area, also kind of in a little bit of a radar gap, as well as the Rensselaer area between northern Indiana and Chicago. So there's radar gaps across Indiana, but overall, Indiana is pretty well covered in terms of radar compared to other parts of the country where there are much larger radar gaps across parts of the United States. Northwest Ohio is also notorious for being kind of a bad radar gap from Mercer County, Ohio, Van Wert over towards Wapakoneta, Wapak area, also notorious for kind of a radar gap there as well. So radar is not perfect, but it is very useful and has come such a long ways over the past 50 plus years. So we are much better off today than what we were even 30 years ago.
That beam height to that one cell coming your way is about 4,000 feet from the North Indiana radar and about 6,000 feet from Indianapolis.
Yeah, so it's pretty close, about 5,000. But right now, it does look to be more of a damaging wind risk than anything. There's maybe some broad rotation, but it's hard to definitively say that just because it is so broad in nature. Gas City comes to mind, maybe Hartford City as well. But for now, more of a straight line wind risk. Back down south, though, severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Wayne County all the way down to Franklin County, as well as Dearborn County under a severe thunderstorm warning, really long severe thunderstorm warning. Penny-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. No tornado possible tag within this one. Notice how straight this segment of the line is, like a pencil, like a telephone pole. Not a lot of kinks going on here with this. This is mainly going to be a wind risk with this as well. Also, look at Indianapolis's radar. Another gust front coming through. This is our cold front itself. Look how the winds are now out of the due west with winds out ahead of that, out of the south-southwest. So notice that wind shift is getting very, very close. This is our cold front itself. So not a lot of distance between the rain and the cold front. It's really right on the cold front. Temperatures are going to start plummeting here across western Indiana. And we'll even see some snow mixing in here later tonight across most of the state and into tomorrow. Everyone could get in on some flurry action or some snow showers as we go into the day tomorrow and earlier this morning. Or I guess technically today. It is after midnight now. So later on today, we could see some snow showers across the state of Indiana. Go ahead and go south to north here with our severe thunderstorm warnings. We are now back to a baseline severe thunderstorm warning. We did have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That pocket of wind has broadened out quite a bit and now it's moved into Kentucky. But Madison, Indiana, still in a severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, penny-sized hail. Just talked about this up to Dearborn, Franklin County, Union, Fayette, Wayne County, 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail. Ohio and Switzerland County currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but we are going to have to watch this line. Could still see an expansion into Ohio and Switzerland. Just have to see how this trends as it moves off to the east. Going back up here to northern Indiana, really not a super long time to go for our severe weather threat for Indiana. Probably in the next 2 hours, we should be all clear here in Indiana. Going back up here to the north, we have a tornado possible, penny-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. You can see the nice gust front there stretching from about Gas City down to Hartford City and down to the Muncie area. This is moving off to the north and northeast at, let's get a speed on here, I believe 50 miles per hour. And it is, yes, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and penny-sized hail. And really, a penny-sized hail has really been kind of an overstatement for a lot of these storms. Some of these storms are not even producing pennies. Some of it is much smaller or not at all as well. Very shallow storms and not a lot of strong updrafts with these storms either. But there is quite a bit of cold air aloft as well. So it doesn't take a lot of cold air to produce some hail. It is above freezing or below freezing, not too high off the ground, right on the cold front.
Caleb, there are 22,000 customers in the state of Indiana without power. Most of those are across South Indiana.
Yes, that's probably a combination of the storms that we've seen here this evening, but also the strong winds that we saw out ahead of the storm, our synoptic winds. High wind warnings were upgraded across the Indianapolis area and parts of southern Indiana, even northwest Indiana, upgrading to high wind warnings, where we saw some 60-mile-per-hour gusts, non-thunderstorm related this afternoon. So we've just had a lot of wind lately, Windiana, across the state over the past 48 hours. So we've had our fair share of wind as well, which probably doesn't take a lot of more wind from these storms to peel some shingles off, blow some limbs down, as some of our limbs may be cracked and shingles may be loose, just from the synoptic wind events we've had over the past several days across Indiana. It has just been windy, to say the least. No doubt about that. And also, we've lost the lightning in a lot of this band. Most of the lightning across southern and central Indiana, a little bit there in Union County near the Connorsville area, but going up north here, north of Muncie, there's just no lightning at all. And very indicative of these shallow QLCS type events that we see here. Mainly a damaging wind risk, but can't rule out a brief spin up tornado. Those of you behind the line are currently in the clear. Those of you who have yet to be impacted are currently not in the clear yet. Basically, far eastern Indiana, you are still under the gun. Go ahead and draw a line here for you. If you are east of this line, right in here, you are under the gun for severe weather. If you are not in this circled area, go to bed. Have a good evening. You are not in the severe weather threat. May want to turn your furnaces off and close your windows if you had them open or had that shut off here today. Is this going to get cold? Believe it or not, Northwest Illinois, these red boxes, that's not a tornado watch. Those are blizzard warnings. Northwest Illinois, from Davenport, Iowa to Rockford, Illinois, that's a blizzard warning for winds exceeding 35 miles per hour, quarter-mile visibility, with gusts well in excess of 40 miles per hour for over a 3-hour period. So we're meeting blizzard criteria really not that far away from Indiana. It's crazy to think about, but winter is not done yet. Winter saw the calendar. It's got 4 more days to work with here, and we're definitely going to feel it. It will not feel like spring overnight tonight over the next couple of days. So wind chills Tuesday morning across the entire state will be below 5 degrees. By Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., wind chills will range from about -8 to about 3 degrees across the entire state of Indiana Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. So don't everybody shout for joy all at once. I'm right there with you, not looking forward to it. But that is what we have to look forward to over the next 48 hours or so. Go ahead and go back to our severe thunderstorm warnings north to south. Just some breezy winds, breezy showers across northern Indiana. Fort Wayne, really no risk for severe weather at this point in time. Just some rain, some gusty showers. Really not much to write home about. Some strong thunderstorms moving into southern Wells County. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I don't really see much in the way of rotation, Ryan, in these storms here. Mainly just a straight line wind event with pockets of winds maybe reaching 60 miles per hour. But it's hard to tell because some of this brighter reflectivity is clear air out ahead of the main line here. So kind of hard to get a read on that. Going back south here, large severe thunderstorm warning from Wayne County all the way to Dearborn County, including Franklin, Union, Fayette counties in effect here for 6 more minutes. Likely probably see an extension on that with this trim back as this comes near the Darke County, Ohio areas and areas just to the south towards the Hamilton, Ohio areas. Going for a little bit further south, severe thunderstorm warnings here for extreme portions of southeast Indiana. No severe thunderstorm warnings for Ohio or Switzerland yet. You're going to have to keep an eye on that as it moves off to the east. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, although the worst of it is off to our south and east into Kentucky. So we are winding down our severe weather risk across Indiana here this evening, getting very close to the Indiana-Ohio state line. Warnings now go up to the state line. Have to see if we get a downstream warning for Adams County or Wells County. Kind of hard to get a read on this as well. I guess I should mention it does include far western Jay County, but really hard to get a read on this storm here, and it's looking a little bit less organized than what it did a few moments ago. Um, Looking a little bit more broad in nature, but still a little bit, maybe a little bit of a bookend vortex or a weak MCV feature there, but kind of hard to tell. Not really seeing
Not seeing too much there,
not
in
not
your
really
area.
seeing too much there, huh?
Become more disorganized with the latest couple of scans.
Yeah, it has. The radar beam is also elevated, so it's hard to tell immediately what's going on at the surface. But
Also, no upstream reports of any significant wind gusts have come in recently.
haven't
Not-
seen too many reports across Indiana as a whole over the
Period.
last 30 minutes.
Yep. No, I'm right
It's,
there
it's
with
been it's been very quiet on the severe report side of things, from mesonets to storm spotter reports alike.
Yeah, look at the. I don't know if you have TCVG radar out of Cincinnati, but if you look on that radar, the storms entering the Ohio Kentucky line area, very unimpressive velocities with these as a whole. There is not much here on radar signaling that these are at severe criteria at all. So this threat is pretty
Maybe
much
maybe
wrapping up.
pockets, but widespread, 60, 58 plus mile per hour winds seems to be. And there you can see our severe thunderstorm warning for Wells, Grant, Blackford, Jay has been canceled. That is no longer in effect for those vicinities up there. That storm has weakened below severe criteria, and I would agree based on radar.
Did they cancel it or expire it?
I think it still had some time left on it.
3 minutes. Yeah, they expired it. So it's still in effect for 3 minutes and it's going to expire. The north side of that line has just become overall disorganized. The organization of this line appears to be really from Richmond on south at this point.
Yeah.
That has the best organization in terms of storm structure, or at least radar appearance, should I say. But even then, I think the overall threat is coming down. The airport radar is significant in terms of the data feed because the radar beam from airport radars are very low to the ground. And the lower the beam height, the more accurate the information is. So looking at the radar in Cincinnati, as these storms approach the Ohio line, I'm looking at the reports or the inspector tool on radar scope here. The highest wind I'm getting along this line is 33 miles per hour, unless you're down in Madison area, which is
And our severe thunderstorm warning has expired from Wayne County to Dearborn County with no downstream warning on it.
So it looks like they're going to let a lot of these expire as they move into Ohio. And that's perfect timing, really, as well. But if you go down to Madison, which is really on the border of Indiana and Kentucky, that has some areas and pockets of a little bit stronger winds being shown. We're talking like 50 to 55 or so. But that's also getting a little bit further away from the radar beam height, too. So that could be also bad data or similar to what we're experiencing with other radars, just not very, very close to the ground. So,
yeah, getting pretty close to the state line there as well, moving into Kentucky as well. Going back up here to Wilmington's radar, try to get another view of it. Still kind of far away, kind of in a radar gap here, but looking at the airport radar here, go ahead and go back to base velocity here. That's our winds. You can see our gust front right about here, but it's really unimpressive. Airport radars, TDRs, they're actually very low to the ground. Their beam angle is really low, so you're getting a kind of a bottom view profile of these storms, and they really do. They look really quite unimpressive at this point in time. Probably why our warning was allowed to expire, and we don't see a downstream warning on that. And this warning up here to the north, this would be for Randolph County, for the Winchester area. Right, not a lot really going on there either. That storm has really kind of fell apart over the last several scans as well, become very disorganized, similar to kind of the Wells, Huntington, Grant County situation as well, mainly just rain and maybe some gusty winds. Not really seeing a lot going on there either. A lot of our warnings are being allowed to expire. And actually, there is a new measured gust from 12:15 Ryan, via an AWOS near the Batesville area, southern Indiana, 45 mile per hour measured, and that was in Franklin County.
So 45 is well below severe criteria.
And that was
58.
measured right about here, just to the southwest of Brookville. It's actually, no, a little bit further north, but right here, actually, just south of Connorsville. So actually, that was in Union County, where that was measured, just north of Franklin County, right about here. But still, the storm looks about the same on both locations. So I had to imagine probably between less than 50 miles per hour on that line.
New warning now for Switzerland County until 1:15. That's going to be on the Ohio border.
Right here. That is for 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail. That is for our storm working its way through Madison, Indiana. No tornado possible on it, and just 60 mile per hour winds and small hail.
Taking a peek along this line for anything concerning or just overall worth monitoring and just communicating. I don't see much of anything.
And not really a whole lot going on. Still, the severe risk is not zero across eastern Indiana from the US 27 corridor, but our watches are being trimmed back significantly. The entire central and western side of the state, your severe weather risk is over, and quite a large temperature spread right now across Indiana as well. Yeah, quite crazy. In fact, up by Lake County, Indiana, we're starting to see a changeover around the Chicagoland area from rain to snow.
Let's not talk about the S word, please.
I won't talk about it. We'll all find out as we wake up here in the morning and go to work.
Oh, Lord. All right. So the overall threat here is diminishing greatly. Severe warnings have been dropped from Lynn to Webster all the way down to Pleasant. The entire line there across eastern half of the state has been dropped. The warning does continue here for Switzerland County. Looking at the north part of the line, there is a warning that continues for Winchester, but looking at that storm, it looks unimpressive. I'm not sure why that's even warned, to be honest with you. Looks very unimpressive as a whole. And then if that gets canceled or expired, we're going to only have one county really under a warning as these storms push into Ohio. So our threat here is pretty much over unless you live on the very far southeast corner of the Indiana area here by Switzerland County. Areas still to be impacted in Indiana appear to be St. Leon, Harrison, Bright, Hidden Valley, we'll call it Lawrenceburg area, Aurora, Dillsboro, all the way down here to, I think that's Kentucky at this point. So yeah, that's really the only areas left to be impacted here by this line before it moves into Ohio. Richmond is in the heart of this line right now. It should be letting up for you guys there shortly. Abington, as well as Brownsville, Blooming Grove, Metamora, Oldenburg, Batesville, an Osgood area, all on the back side of this line. Could have a few lightning strikes, some loud rumbles of thunder, but this line is past you, and the worst of it, should I say, is past you. Looking to the north side of this line, there are no warnings in effect except for the Winchester area here. It's going to be for Delaware County and Randolph County until 1 a.m. But again, I don't see anything why that's warned. I don't see anything to be concerned about with that line. I would expect them to cancel that warning pretty quickly. And if that does get canceled outside that warning, there is no other warnings across northern Indiana at this time. In fact, central Indiana is now cleared as well. It's just the very far southeast corner now of the state. Up in the Fort Wayne area, you guys, I don't see any lightning up there, just some moderate rainfall, maybe a brief rumble of thunder if you're lucky. I don't see anything organized up there. Bluffton, Ossian, Markle area is under some heavier rain. Looks like there could be a gust front moving into Ossian, Uniondale, and also Bluffton, Panito area. But that's also not really organized on radar either. So I don't want to say it's going to be a gusty wind threat there, but if there's going to be any wind at all, it's going to be in that area. Caleb is in this area actually. He's going to kind of measure, at least get a feel for what it's doing. So he'll report back if anything is concerning there. But otherwise, besides the one warning up by Winchester, the only concern is really in southeast Indiana now. Looking at that warning, like I said, in Winchester, I would not be concerned for severe weather. It looks pretty unorganized. Looking at our last couple of scans here, looks like the Madison area, Brooksburg, down toward Pleasant area in the very far southeast corner of the state has the gustiest winds. This is going to be Switzerland County, as well as that's it in Indiana. That's it. Counties in Kentucky include Carroll, Grant, Owen, and Gallatin counties. But really, Switzerland County is the only county that we see of concern. Over Pleasant or State Route 62 is going to follow closely towards State Route 56. And that has the gustiest winds. Radar indicating winds could be close to severe criteria there. And that's a couple thousand feet off the ground. So that could not be mixed into the ground either. That's heading toward the Patriot, Rising Sun, and Lawrenceburg areas here in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, on the north side of this line from St. Leon, Cedar Grove to Bath, up toward Boston and Richmond areas, that line does look pretty unimpressive overall. The gust front is about 5 to 10 miles away from exiting Indiana and moving into Ohio. And then our concern really is, I'm not going to say zero, but at that point it drops significantly, as this line is really the last organization part of the system before it exits out of our jurisdiction, our coverage area. We are going to watch the northern half of this line as it moves into the Fort Wayne metro area. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, toward the Bluffton, Ossian area, could be some stronger winds there. No warnings in effect there, no statements or anything like that. We'll keep a close eye on it, though, as it moves up toward eventually Convoy, Ohio, toward Ohio City and Payne and Antwerp areas. Overall, the warning continues. I'm not sure why for the Winchester area. That line is now exited into Ohio. So even if there is severe weather happening within that warning, it is no longer in the county. It's in Ohio. So my focus really is on that very far southeast corner of the state. Once that line is out of the state, we'll be good to give the all clear, more than likely, in the next 15 or so minutes, which is really good news. I've been live here for several hours tracking this. The current time is 12:38 a.m. Eastern time, to be exact. It is 11:38 Central time. Date is March 16th. We have about a half county left of storms to track until these are in Ohio or Kentucky. Keeping a closer eye up in the Veracruz area still. The radar does indicate some of the winds could be stronger up there. But again, the organization where the winds line up with velocity, they don't really scream organized to me at all. We'll have a report from Caleb here in a few minutes as he's about to be impacted by this line. Again, no warnings in effect up there in the Bluffton area. But the closest warning is Winchester. I still don't understand why they haven't cleared that warning yet. I would still anticipate them to do that any minute. Then, as I mentioned, the only concern really lies down in Switzerland area, where that continues to show impressive signs of some stronger wind gusts. My radar here over the Pleasant area measuring 55 miles per hour, and that beam height from this Cincinnati radar goes out approximately 800 feet off the surface. So that's pretty low to the ground. It's only about 2.5 football fields above our heads. That's where the winds are right around severe criteria. So it's pretty close to the ground. Gonna hop on Facebook here and check out some comments you guys are leaving. Yeah, Haley, I think you're good up there in Bluffton. You're looking at some gustier winds potentially, but they don't look severe to me. Lindsay says, starting to hear some thunder in Red Key. Yeah, if you're not in Switzerland County, I think you're pretty much done for the night in terms of severe weather. Jessica says, crazy wind in Moores Hill still. Yeah, the wind is pretty gusty regardless of if you're in or out of showers or storms. That's how it's been the past couple of days. And really, the severe threat is tied to these storms themselves. They're going to be windy outside for sure, though. Muncie is clear, Savannah. You're good there. Richmond, you're also clear. That line is just past you. You're going to have some rain behind it. So you can look on the radar there. Richmond is dead center-ish of your screen, a little bit up. The worst of the line is moving into Ohio, so you're clear. But behind it, there's a nice, we're calling a blob of rain that's going to move through. It's going to be more so light to moderate rain, maybe a brief lightning strike or rumble of thunder. But overall, severe threat is over there for Richmond. Nothing, Cadence. The only concern really that I'm having right now in Indiana is Switzerland County in the very far southeast corner. The airport radar down there is indicating that we could have winds upwards of severe criteria that are mixing very close to the ground. We're going to say 95 to 98% of the state right now is clear of severe weather. Winchester's good to go to bed. Yeah. Winchester, Haley, that warning should be canceled pretty much any minute. I'm not sure why they haven't yet. The line is cleared into Ohio. It's just rain for you there. So Winchester, you're good to go to bed. Lawrenceburg, you're still out ahead of this line, so don't let your guard down just yet. Overall, I think your threat is on the lower end. The gustier winds are just off to your south. But still, I'd be on alert here next half hour or so. But as soon as this line passes you, you're good to go. Looking at the line itself, there's really no tornadic threat with it. It's just a straight line wind threat, and really only for that very far southeast corner of the state. So you'll be good here shortly. Yeah, JC, just some thunderstorms now for Newcastle. Sarah, expect that watch to be trimmed back and canceled as this line exits the state. That watch, they usually issue severe or tornado watches well out in advance of these storms, and also they issue them for a wide area or a wide time frame, should I say. So usually they're meant to run late to cover a wider area. There's no more storms expected behind this line. You're good to go. Once the line passes you, you're fine. Richmond's clear, Haley. Just some rain and some rumbles of thunder for you. The worst of the line is past you. Abigail, I'd say the same thing for Bluffton applies. Bluffton, you should be good to go. Just some rain, again, some rumbles of thunder possible. The further north you go, really the less instability and less lightning and thunder you're going to have. I think the real only concern for thunder is going to be further south with this line as it moves into Ohio. Hey, Caleb's back.
Yeah, no risk in Bluffton. I actually live near there and had winds up to 12 miles per hour measured.
12 miles per hour. That's it, Caleb.
A whole 1-2. That's all I had.
All right. Yep. So Bluffton, I see a couple chats in there asking you're good to go to bed. Go to bed. You are good. I was just telling the guys in chat here, the guys and gals in chat, that the only concern that I have currently is down in Switzerland County, and that threat should be pretty short-lived in nature. 98% of the state is clear at this point. Did he leave me again?
Hmm?
Nope, he's back. Whitney says Randolph County has lots of lightning and thunder right now.
Yeah, I believe that. Really, down to I see like 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in southern Indiana.
Richmond's clear. You good to go to bed. Greensburg, you're also good. Go to bed. If you're not in Switzerland County, you are pretty much clear. Ambria, the line is past Muncie. You are good to go to bed. Are you outside, Caleb?
I was actually looking at just something here outside the window. But
This
really,
line is approaching Aurora, Rising Sun, and Patriot, Indiana areas the next 10 or so minutes. And once this line clears those areas, we'll be good to hop out of here. There is still a good bit of lightning down by the areas from Milan, Sparta, Dillsboro, Vevey areas, heading toward the Rising Sun Patriot areas. Still some good lightning. The radar beam height here is now right around 600 feet. And those severe level winds are still being shown, but they're becoming a lot less widespread. I'm still getting 62 at most. Riding the Indiana Kentucky line there, heading toward Patriot. But overall, the line as it gets closer to the radar is becoming less and less impressive. So that threat should be pretty low as it moves to the east.
and we're only a few miles away from really this entire line being out of Indiana as well.
Yeah, that's what I was telling the folks here watching here in chat. We're about to be clear of our coverage here tonight. It's only a matter of minutes now at this point.
Yeah, in northern Indiana, Fort Wayne, heavy rain, breezy conditions, and that's really about it.
Just for reference for those watching from Winchester, that severe warning has officially been canceled now. We were watching that, Caleb, when you were outside there.
Yeah,
They had a warning on Winchester, and that line was in Ohio. It wasn't even a line; it was just a blob of rain. So I was kind of making a joke. I'm wondering when they're going to expire it because it's just kept on being continued. I didn't understand why, but they finally expired that after a few minutes. So Winchester, I know folks are asking. You are official. Good to go to bed.
all right. Yeah, really, the main risk for like storms is really Ohio, Switzerland counties, like right in this vicinity here. Here in Indiana, that's really about it. If you're north of Indiana, Fort Wayne area, Auburn, Indiana, there's some heavy rain, no lightning here associated with this. It looks worse on radar than what it actually is. Mainly just heavy rain and some gusty winds. I just got impacted by dispatch of rain here and measured a whopping 12 miles per hour. So well below severe criteria of 58.
Caleb, that's been the story across much of the Indiana today. We've had a couple pockets and a couple reports of some damage, especially I think what was that one town that got hit earlier? It was Huntingburg, I think it was, further south.
Yeah,
they had
I think so.
some tree damage.
That was some measured gust report there as well. I can't remember exactly
64,
what
I
it was off the top
believe
of my
it
head.
was.
And before we hop off here, I do want to shout out our sponsor of our stream, Rutgers Outdoor Services, based in Indianapolis. If you have any tree damage, not only from the wind today, but also have any trees that could be problematic the next time a windstorm strikes, give them a call. They'll be happy to take care of you. 317-665-3969. Bradley serving the Indianapolis area. Big shout out to them for making our severe weather coverage possible here in the state of Indiana.
Absolutely.
But we are only a few minutes away from probably ending our severe weather coverage here in Indiana. And once we end that, we will begin forecasting snow for Indiana. Yay.
Caleb, and your obsession with snow tonight. I don't understand it.
But, I feel like
people would be more upset if I didn't mention it and then they woke up and saw it versus, having a little bit of heads up. That could be just me as well. I'm on the spring bandwagon. Once I tasted 70 degrees, that's all I want. I don't want anything below that, but that's not going to be the case. We're all in it together. But we're
Yeah,
just,
Lauren, you're good there in Milan. You're good to go to bed.
absolutely. Yep. Our severe weather threat is really over for everyone except Ohio and Switzerland counties, in extreme portions of southeast Indiana. There's a chance, this storm maybe could go strong, but I really don't see anything in Adams, Allen, Wells County that really signifies anything near severe criteria. I mean, there is some brighter reflectivity here, but this is elevated. These winds are not mixing down to the surface. It's elevated in nature and not posing a risk at this point in time. Strongest storms are still our severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail, tornado possible, though I really don't see much in the way of rotations. Going back to our airport radar, which has the best look at this, here's our strongest winds right in here. Now, these could be a pocket of perhaps 60-mile-per-hour winds getting ready to cross the Ohio River there. They're going to be moving out of Switzerland County and going to be coming near the Warsaw, Kentucky areas in US 42. Center Square, East Enterprise, getting some gusty winds right now, but these storms are on the way out. We're on the home stretch here. And good news is, Ryan, near term, I don't really see any severe weather near term here in Indiana.
Yeah, past today, no, not at all.
I definitely had an active stretch here across the state, but I think we've also learned it doesn't take a thunderstorm to cause wind damage here in the state of Indiana. That was kind of a rare exception. Not too often do we see high wind events of that degree here in the Midwest, or here in specifically the Ohio Valley and Lower Lakes region. We only see that maybe once or twice a year. We don't see too many of those high-end wind events, especially widespread gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour without thunderstorms in the area. Very seldomly do we see that here in Indiana. Thankfully, we don't see that all too often, and really grateful we didn't have leaves on the trees yet. I think the damage would have been much worse on the tree department if we had leaves on our trees.
Yeah, and also I want to mention, it is so relevant. We have now 30,000 customers out of power in Indiana. That number jumped over 8,000 people in the last hour or so. So even the wind today and some of these storms as well have knocked power out. A lot of these outages are coming in from just south of the Indianapolis area, but we also have a couple counties. I know we had Vermilion County get hit pretty hard, as well as a few counties up further north towards the central part of the Indiana earlier today from the wind. We're talking Fulton County, as well as a couple in Marshall and Pulaski to mention. So kind of spread across the state, but the majority of these outages are focused where the severe threat was tonight. So it kind of goes to show you that these storms were still impactful for a select few people.
Absolutely. Becca, answering your question, yeah, if you're not in like Ohio and Switzerland County, you guys are good. Fort Wayne, Indiana, just rain for you, some gusty winds. Could be some gusty winds along and behind the cold front as well. Winds are going to shift from the south to out of the west. And you're going to notice that wind shift and winds will pick up as well. So I'm not going to get into specific locations. Every time I answer that, we get like 500 of you asking your exact location. So let me draw it out here. I'll make it really simple. Let me go full screen here. If you're not in this box, you're good. Go to bed. Simple as that. Our cold front, though, is getting ready to come into Indiana. And actually, while I have you here, I'll go ahead and time it out here for you. Here's a look at the HRRR model here. Let me go to 00Z. This is our long-term model. This is what it was earlier. This is about what it looks like now. Our cold front is draped right around here. Our storms are now exiting the region. Look at our temperatures. This is kind of one of our favorite games as forecasters. It's find the cold front. I think we can find it here. So overnight tonight, here we are at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll start out in the 30s across eastern Indiana, but we're going to drop as the day goes on tomorrow afternoon. We'll start out in the 30s. By mid-afternoon, we're going to be in the 20s for most of the day here tomorrow across Indiana. But look at our wind chills tomorrow. Yikes. So wind chills are going to drop here tomorrow into the teens and even single digits. And here we go into Tuesday morning. Yep, that is below zero. Wind chills Tuesday morning around 7 a.m. will range from about 3 degrees to about -8 degrees, depending on where you're at and what the winds are doing across Indiana. But beyond that, something else to talk about too is behind this system. So here's our line moving across Indiana. We could have some snow squalls across the state of Indiana tomorrow. Not everyone will see these, and this might be overdone just a little bit, depending on some dynamics, but also moisture behind the front. Best chance for snow in northern Indiana, but we could have some snow squalls across the state of Indiana tomorrow afternoon. And these could cause reduced visibility. If you're traveling north to south, like I-69, you could go from clear visibility to visibility, perhaps less than a half mile or quarter mile in some of these heavier bands. So do be mindful of that tomorrow afternoon if you're traveling. Northern Indiana, though, specifically with our lake effect snow, could see the most impact. So you see how these squalls kind of hang around too. But tomorrow afternoon specifically could have some snow squalls across the state of Indiana. I know as of today, March 16th, we're 4 days away from astronomical spring. That's the so we are, yeah, the spring equinox is coming up, but we are still dealing with some winter-like conditions. Not winter-like; these are winter conditions across the state of Indiana. In this model here, I'll go ahead and show you what the HRRR is thinking about for some snow totals. Be glad we're not in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. Blizzard warnings are in effect over here. They're getting perhaps double-digit snows. Not too far away from Indiana, but most of Indiana seeing a trace to about an inch with some higher totals of 2 to 4 inches across northern Indiana. From about South Bend, Indiana, over towards the Angola area, seeing 2 to 4 inches with that lake effect snow. So, yes, we are approaching on astronomical spring, but we're going to have to deal with winter a little bit. Winter weather advisories in effect from LaPorte County over to LaGrange County for about 2 to 4 inches of snow. Could have, and perhaps some higher amounts too, depending on where those lake effect bands set up. These bands can deviate with the wind a little bit, but I wanted to bring that to your attention as we could have really snow squalls across the entire state tomorrow afternoon as well. But just be glad we're not in this area right over here. Everywhere in red is a blizzard warning. So this is a very impactful late winter system, and even ice storm warnings up here in northern Michigan from Cadillac over to Alpena. They're getting an ice storm where they could have ice accretions in excess of 3/4 of an inch of ice, which is very substantial. So be glad we're not getting any of that. We definitely don't need or want that in the state of Indiana. But as far as our severe weather goes, our coverage is about over. Our storms are now leaving Indiana. We're actually just moments away from ending our severe weather coverage here in the state of Indiana. Go ahead and do split screen here. When these warnings expire, we'll go ahead and pop off, or when these storms have exited Indiana. Still getting in on some gusty winds, though. So we'll stay on here for a few more minutes. I don't want to leave out Warsaw or Patriot, Indiana, here in Switzerland County. Warsaw, Kentucky, Patriot, Indiana. Winds to 60 miles per hour right in here. Center Square, you guys are okay. Pleasant, you guys are good. But from Rising Sun to about Warsaw, getting in some gusty winds with the strongest winds here in Switzerland County. But we're just a couple miles away from the severe weather threat being over here for Indiana. Looking around the region here, going back up to the north, saw some questions about Fort Wayne. Just rain for you. There's a line of some gusty showers moving through at this time. However, there could be some gusty winds mixing down, but a lot of these winds are elevated. They're not making their way all the way to the ground. Mainly just heavy rain at this point as well. No lightning north of Indianapolis either, may I add. So we are just a few moments away from ending our severe weather coverage here in the state of Indiana. Go ahead and switch back to velocity here. The airport radar here in Independence, Ohio, actually, or Kentucky rather, has the best view of this storm as it impacts Patriot, Indiana. Winds to 60 miles per hour, as well as a possible tornado. However, on that note, I don't see any rotation here in Switzerland County. This is just solely a damaging wind risk
You can see the line of winds right in there, really narrow line of winds. You'll see the wind gusts pick up real quick, and then that'll quickly diminish once this line has passed. There's a downstream warning, or they just trim that back just a little bit. 60 in Penny is still remaining. So just a few minutes left here on our severe weather coverage. A little FYI for those of you behind this line, if you have any windows open, it was nice today. Now would be a fantastic chance to close those and turn on your heater, because you are going to need that overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Winds are going to be shifting out of the west. Some of you have already mentioned that wind change happening, and the winds picking up Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, and that is our winds associated behind our cold front. Go ahead and pulling our HRRR model back up. This is 00Z. Go ahead and show you what our winds are going to be doing here tomorrow as well. Thankfully, not quite as gusty as what we had. This model actually kind of overdid it a little bit along our line, but you can kind of see winds right around that 30 to 40 mile per hour range. These are max gusts. Our sustained winds right around 20 to 25 miles per hour for most, but we could have some gusts the 30 to 40 miles per hour overnight tonight and into tomorrow, primarily tomorrow afternoon. But if we have any snow squalls developing during this time, if I go ahead and switch back to radar simulation here, you can see we have some snow squalls around this time too. So snow squalls plus wind out of the northwest gusting to 40 miles per hour. That's just a recipe for whiteout conditions. So if you do find yourself in any snow squalls tomorrow, just know conditions will deteriorate quite rapidly. Could see some bursts of accumulation on roadways, bridges especially. Our soil temperatures are warm. We're well above freezing for our soils. So accumulations, especially south of the Indiana state line from LaPorte County to LaGrange County, you could see accumulations on roadways up there. But if you're in central and southern Indiana, it'll mainly be limited to grassy surfaces and suspended surfaces. But it can cause reduced visibility on the roadway, and that is something we need to be mindful of going into tomorrow afternoon. So while the impacts are limited, it can still impact your driving commutes tomorrow afternoon, especially on the way home from work, because you'll have some snow squalls in the area as well. We are down to one severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana, and our line of storms is moving out of Indiana, probably coming into Patriot right about now. Go ahead and turn on our velocity here, and it has broadened out just a little bit. You can see it's coming into Patriot. Once this line reaches across the Ohio River, we will end our stream, and that'll end our severe weather coverage here in the state of Indiana. As we hit play here, notice how these winds have really broadened out. Picked up a little bit south of Rising Sun, where that core is. You can see that right about there on the Ohio River. But for the most part, this line is kind of below severe criteria in Switzerland County at the moment. I don't see any LSR reports or measured wind gusts out of Switzerland County. So curious to know what those winds are actually doing. But our gust front is crossing the Ohio River and is moving out of the state. Ryan, you have anything to add while you're on here?
No, not really. I think we're less than 5 minutes away from ending our coverage, truthfully.
Yeah, I do too. Yep. Once this line moves out of Indiana, I mentioned we were going to wrap it up then.
The severe watch for all of North Indiana has been canceled. We already know this. The threat's over up there, but just official. The severe watch has been canceled officially.
So just about 1 or 2 minutes away from ending our stream here in Indiana. Just want to say thank you for following along. We do have a couple pockets of some gusty winds, though, in the Warsaw, Kentucky area. But as far as Indiana goes, Ryan, not really seeing anything too impressive here for the Patriot area. This line is kind of broadened out quite a bit. If I hit play here, you can really see our velocity really look to fall below severe criteria here in eastern Switzerland County.
Yeah,
Maybe
if you
some
wanted,
gusty winds to 40, 45 miles per hour, but I don't see much in the way of 58 or greater at this point in time via the TDR radar.
we could probably end it now and be okay. I don't really see much anything.
Yeah, this line is currently moving out of Indiana. I'll go ahead and do one more region look here for everyone still watching. Go ahead and use Wilmington's radar here, but you also notice there's no warnings or statements for the Dayton, Ohio area. Anywhere along this line is below severe criteria. Going back down towards the Louisville, Kentucky area, strongest storms are currently well to our south. Our line is currently warned from the Cincinnati area all the way down to the Gulf Coast, and where we have freeze warnings, freeze watchings. That's our cold. Our cold front's going to be. It's going to drag the cold air all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Very potent late season system here. But if you're basically outside of Switzerland County, Indiana, our severe weather threat is over for Indiana. And the good news is I don't see any severe weather near term for the state of Indiana or the region. So we look to be in a quieter period here coming up. It's going to be a winter-like period coming up as well. I hope you enjoyed your spring teaser here this afternoon. If you didn't mind the wind, it really wasn't a bad afternoon, despite being quite windy here today. But overall, our severe weather threat is over for the state of Indiana. Snow showers pick up overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Winter weather advisories from LaPorte County to LaGrange County, 2 to 5 inches of snow, highest amounts near the Indiana-Michigan border. We'll get a snow outlook issued here later this morning, and we'll have that out on the pages here today as well. Do watch for snow squalls later this afternoon, primarily after the 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. time frame across the entire state of Indiana. West winds to 20 to 25 miles per hour, gusting to 40 miles per hour, will and can create whiteout visibilities as well. So do be mindful of that later today, especially on your way home or on your lunch break here today. Do be mindful of that. And be thankful we're not anywhere in red. These are all blizzard warnings extending from just to the west of the Chicagoland area, Milwaukee, Davenport. These are all blizzard warnings. And some of these snow totals has just been impressive for March, to say the least, Ryan. 20 plus inches in some areas just for this one storm, coupled with blizzard criteria, visibility less than a quarter of a mile. So be glad we're not getting that here in Indiana. That would just be disgusting. So with that being said, we're probably going to end our severe weather coverage here. Watch out for snow squalls here later this afternoon, and we'll have updated snow totals here across the state published here later this morning as well. Most of Indiana not seeing accumulating snow on roadways, with the exception of northern Indiana, where the snow could come down heavy enough for a long enough period of time where we could see accumulating snow on roadways. Most of Indiana will see a trace to about an inch of snow in isolated pockets, but that'll mainly be refined to grassy surfaces and suspended surfaces and will slowly melt after it falls, not because our temperatures are warm, they'll be in the 20s, but because our ground temperatures are in the 50s across a good portion of Indiana. We're in the 40s and 50s for our soil temperatures. So that'll help minimize impacts for most of the state of Indiana, with the exception for northern Indiana. Soils are a little bit colder, but also the snowfall rates are a little bit more persistent up there through about Tuesday afternoon. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and pop off here. Our severe weather threat is over for Indiana. We're going to see this severe thunderstorm warning expire in the next couple of minutes here, but the winds have exited Indiana and no longer pose a threat to Indiana. So with that being said, our severe weather threat is over. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and a good rest of your day today, as well as staying warm, and do watch out for snow squalls later this afternoon as well. With that being said, have a good evening. This is Caleb here with Indiana Weather Online alongside with Ryan, and we will see you next time.